Hello, everybody. Got that. Was busy getting set up here. Thank you guys for the raid. Welcome everybody from your stream. Sorry I was a little bit indisposed there. Hope you guys had a good one. We're just getting started right here. Chat, I've just posted the tweet. Do me a favor, go give it some love. Go give the artist some love as always. Didn't know you streamed. Thought I was primarily a YouTube uploader. No. Stream. I'm actually primarily a streamer. It's almost the other way around. You could ask chat about that. But yeah, I've been pushing hard on YouTube over the last year, so we're trying. But again, we got a ton of stuff to do today. So check DMs, please. Sure. I don't know what that is, but okay. Did my GSSR and Koyami rolls. I hope you got lucky. What'd you get? There we go, over there. Let me grab you guys today's sauce. Hope your rolls go better than mine. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people kind of run the gambit here, but I hope so too. And hopefully, rolls in the future are better for you, Fletch. Hello, Ria. Alrighty. Chat, I believe we are good to go and just in time because my AP needs spending. Let's get this. Hello, everybody. Here is today's artwork for you guys on the YouTube side of things, for you guys on the Twitch side of things. Got both of you covered. Again, as always, you guys know the drill. Go give the artist some love. It's a fantastic Koyami piece. Didn't go specifically for Koyami, but I don't often get a lot of opportunities to use good Koyami art. So rolled quick extra, got melt, pretty happy. Nice. The one SR was guaranteed in the GSSR, yes? I don't think so, but I may be wrong on that. I think you just got a Grail from that, if I remember correctly. Oh, you got Say and you got Koyami in one multi. Nice here. Congratulations. I had pretty good luck yesterday on my GSSR on JP and on the Yamato rules over there. And you know, they ended up taking a little bit longer over time there, but I'm still okay with it. We rolled for NP5 first, so I expected that was going to take a bit. We have no super suck. They took away the half AP dailies, did us dirty. I mean, we'll see, right? Like maybe at like reset tonight, maybe they'll kick in or something like that. I'm not surprised if we don't get the 2x suck because I believe we had it at Thanksgiving. And a lot of the times Thanksgiving kind of splits some of the stuff that we get at New Year's. So I have not rolled yet, Night Hydra. We are going to be rolling today. So we did all my JP stuff yesterday. And I saved all of my NA stuff for today. Got Mellison, nice, congrats. Data updated. Humbug. Ended up getting Oberon and Gorgon. Hey, that's not bad. Even if you already had Oberon, getting an extra NP level of him can actually be good for certain things. There's certain strategies where like having an NP2 can allow you to like use Oberon to take out a wave and stuff, so it's not too bad. And if you didn't have Oberon, then yeah, that's absolutely a steal. Play Asia won't send verification codes, so I think I need to make a new account with them. You mean like the email verification to like log into your account? Sometimes their emails are weird. Check your spam. Maybe ask them to send it again because I've had that happen too. Happy New Year to you guys. Thoughts on the Tunguska epilogue? I'll give it some time. We'll circle back probably later this week on that. I don't want to spoil per se, right? I thought it was good. I only had one issue with it, and the one issue was something that got thrown in your face. It was literally like Nasu was, well aware that the reader knew that and wanted an answer to that question, flaunted it, and never answered it. And I was like, but that's Nasu. That's cliffhanging in a nutshell. Need to farm feathers. Yeah. PR on GSSR, nice. Got Miss Crane. If you don't have Miss Crane's actually still pretty good. She's actually a really good challenge support. It basically allows you to just swap the party again for free, so you get even more firepower out of it. Is song request on? It should be, but it may be bugged. And let me pull you guys up. Sorry, chat's rolling really fast here, so I'm trying to get all of you guys' questions answered. Happy New Year to you too, Anissa. And you too, Alexandra. Are we not supposed to get half AP training grads number gathering and 2 times suck? I thought we were. And someone do me a favor and check in the news and see what it says, because I actually don't know off the top of my head. Because I've been so busy with jumping back and forth farming between NA and JP, I actually haven't gotten to do my due diligence of just reading stuff. And a little bit we're gonna probably try to cover Koyami's video and stuff today, but I'm not gonna go neck deep into the New Year stuff just yet. If we have the time, I'll take the rest of the stream and relax a little bit, and we'll try to focus on hammering out a video each day, I think, throughout the week. Because I got a lot of videos I gotta make here. According to the news, no. If it's according to the news, then the answer's probably no. Let me see. This is not good. So, I naturally, in quick succession, threw on the new Mystic Code. I did complete the epilogue, so I threw on the new Mystic Code. Because it's the only Mystic Code I need to level. It's just going to level slowly over time, but I haven't changed my party comp at all, and I probably should have. So now I'm going to scuff here because Say doesn't have enough charge, since I'm not using the other Mystic Code that I had been using. Well, I say that. This may actually just work out, so we'll see. And if it does, then maybe I don't need to change. Barton, thank you for the 62 months. Hot damn. Fox, thank you for the 40. And again, I hope everybody is doing good today. I hope you guys all had good luck on your rolls. For those of you guys that didn't, I hope you have good luck on the next roll. Again, as always, this stuff happens. Jane Dark seems really good. So, here's the thing. Other reviews call her mid. Was interesting to watch. I wouldn't say she's mid. I'd say she's niche, right? I've seen a lot of people scream for upgrades for her and such. And that, I think a lot of that comes from people just really liking the unit and stuff. I think Koyami is great at what she is, which is a niche support, a party charging busters unit. And I think that alone makes her valuable. I think if people are trying to look to make her the top damage dealer or something in the game, yeah, you're looking in the wrong place at that point. That's not what this unit is intended to be. But, obviously people don't like hearing that. And at the end of the day, I think it's just I'm okay with where she is. But yeah, she's not going to be the most meta unit you're ever going to see. But she is going to be good at that. And especially if you got multiple MP levels of her. We'll talk about that when we get into the actual review. A Shisho banner meant to be out soon. Is there one? I don't know. Not off the top of my head. I haven't done my banner review. That's one of the videos we'll have to do. Great for certain units like the Melissa and Multicore. I never like calling it multi-core. because like the way I've always grown up calling it at this point, because these comps existed all the way back in year one, chat. Like it's hilarious to watch the community develop this like new term for an old strategy. And it's just multi-damage dealer setups, right? Like it happens, and it's not even like necessarily two. You can have 3 damage dealer setups. And that's actually Koyami's thing. That's her thing. Is she takes out a wave and allows somebody else to take out other waves. So that's kind of why I say like it's nice to see her used in that, but I think if people are looking at her from a like devoted damage dealer perspective, I think they're kind of not like they're kind of missing the forest for the trees, so to speak. Penzani, thank you for the follow. Dad, what's your opinion for sorry, it just jumped on me and I just lost it. What's your opinion on NP1 Bizet? I hear she kind of wants higher commitment. She doesn't. No, 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 no. NP1 Bizet, wrong. I said yesterday that I want NP5 because I want to see just the crazy damage that she does, but you can absolutely do stuff at NP1 with her. Like, I think when you're going to hear people talk about higher MP levels of her, it's because they're just trying to, like, mid-turn a challenge quest and stuff, but that's it. Koyami is also a cute short nickname for it. Yeah, Maestro is the one that came up with it in our Discord. Basically, Koyanskaya of Dark, right? Koyami. So, that's kind of where we came up with that compared to like Koyanskaya, where we're normally talking about Koyanskaya of Light or just Light or something like that. And you can also just say Light or Dark. It doesn't matter as long as people understand who you're talking about. She's valuable when you know the fight details in advance. I mean, I'm gonna say this: at the end of the day, that's true of like any unit, right? Like it's not specific to her. You can use her and go in blind and be decently good as long as you like have an idea about how much damage your Koyanskaya can do and how much she's gonna like be able to clear the wave. If you're worried that she's not gonna be able to clear the wave, then yeah, you might have issues. So. Araragi Koyami. Dad, I got MHXA on the GSSR. That is NP2 for me. Any advice on her? I do have Scotty. If you don't have a servant analysis for her. I know you don't have a servant analysis for her. Yeah, no, it's the only issue you're gonna have with her is actually like trying to force her into a 3-turn. You're gonna have to rely on carding because she doesn't have any charge in her kit. The one thing that you won't have to worry about is damage. Like MHXA's damage is just crazy, especially with the upgrades that she gets into the future. It's actually no, she might have them all now on NA at this point. I'd have to think about that. But yeah, MHXA is just solid. MP1 Bizet is already crazy. Yes. Yeah. Take it from me, take it from other people that have her. Like, she's really good. You're just there's naturally gonna be some stuff that like, you know, you don't have enough damage for, but this is again true of every unit. Like, if you try to go in there and try to do stuff like chat, we can make this argument for any unit in the game that you should roll for a higher NP level for more damage. The reason I talk about like some units needing a higher NP level in some cases, and I'll use Koyami as the example here, okay? The example is pertaining to neutral damage in a lot of those circumstances, and the possibility of using a unit in a situation that they're very likely to be dealing that neutral damage. As a result, because they're not dealing effective damage, even you know like small like normal waves that you would encounter like the first wave of say this node or something like that might be beyond the capacity of that unit to just kind of like naked NP as I like to call it, which is like no buffs and stuff like that, or just their own self buffs. It gets difficult for a neutral unit to do that at a low NP level. If you get them even to NP2, a lot of the times that really dramatically increases the like capacity that they can do that in like early waves of nodes. And then that means they take out the wave and then they set up somebody else to take out the other waves. But if you don't have the capability of even clearing that, then it becomes a little bit difficult. And I'm not saying you have to have NP2 of Koyami, just that there is a decent argument to be made for getting NP2 of her. And maybe more so than you would have with another unit, but not like, hey, you have to type deal. Like again, chat, I have an NP1 Koyami on JP. I try to use her when I can, but it does limit how often I can use her. So Happy New Year. Did I miss the polls? No, we're still spending some AP real quick here. I gotta go over to JP as well and do that. Which actually, I gotta check because I believe I need to do so. I think I did the defeat one divine enemy because I think chat doesn't King Protea count as divine? So let me real quick switch gears here. Also, people got too used to neutral. Yeah, I mean, I think like this is an argument that I'll make for like Space Ishtar as well. Like Space Ishtar MP1 really struggles with a lot of things. You can still clear a lot of things, but she's really going to struggle with a lot of things too. Space Ishtar MP2 already solves a lot of that issue. Then you get like the people that like brute force things within P5 that absolutely they shouldn't be trying to do with a Space Ishtar. And that's kind of like what I'm talking about. It's like people will always argue for you to roll to like NP5 because it's their favorite unit and such. But like at the end of the day, more damage is always better. But there's this like sort of cost effectiveness, this like effective value that you want to try to hit with certain units. King Potatoes Divine, okay. What I thought. It looks like I've got that one done then on JP. Oh, that's a smug no, not a smug Oberon. He's like sweating. Um, so then that must have been the divine one. So I need FP summons and to obtain a white item. Oh, is there a white item I need on my JP? Yarn. Yeah, I'm just looking to see. 665. Agatamas are high. Yarn's 281. That's still not bad. I don't know that I particularly need any of them. The real question is what's considered white. I believe the guide tells me that like statues are. Got it from Ordeal Call Free Quest. Which one? Yeah, what's the best place to farm Mystic Code experience? Are you like trying to blitz this Mystic Code done? Because I'm gonna tell you, you just don't even need to, and you could just focus on Bond. Like, I'm dead serious, chat. Don't try to complete this one. Out of all Mystic Codes you will ever receive in the game, don't try to complete this one. It will complete on its own when you get forced to use a plug suit. Like, absolutely. I need to level many Mystic Codes. I mean, it's usually just whatever gives the most Master experience also gives the most Mystic Code experience. So basically, the higher the level of the node, the higher the rarity of the node, better. So, yeah, it's the exact same scaling as Arctic. What if it's the only one we have left? I mean, that's all I'm doing too. Like I slotted it on, but I'm not really trying to fast track it. There's no point. It'll like chat just keep bonding at that point. Plug 2.0 will be done faster. People think, yeah. Took a year and a half. Yeah, like for me, I had to use plug suit so often on my JP account that it completed in like basically 2 lottos. You know, for getting Coin Sky of Light Banner, you are, but not till like probably a good like 2 weeks from now. Or a couple lottos, yeah. Let me see here. Wondering if I could just do a training grounds. I've been told that that's not training grounds. I've been told that God, that's my fingers. Click the right thing. There we go. Um Actually, this will probably work. I'll just roll right in there with my Takeru. Yoink. And this should work. Although I could get screwed because I could get like I think it's the Lancer one that has like a dragon spawn in it for the middle wave. Because that is the most useful split bond C for me at the time. Yeah. Yeah, chat. By all means, like, feel free to work on it. I'm just saying, like, you don't need to be in a hurry to get it complete. It will auto-complete for you. I really, truthfully do mean that. There are just times that you must absolutely unequivocally use a plug suit, and it knows that. I really don't want to roll on Rain's banner. Up to you. Anyone thoughts on Yamato? Strong. Very, very strong. Plug MC will complete itself. Madness, yes. Got my first Jarcher? Nice, congrats. This isn't gonna matter. It's still gonna kill. May as well target the lowest health enemy. Actually, do I have sound on? There you go. Did we MP5? Yeah. Feeding Melisande into 3-turning with Prisma Cosmos to get the 10% charge. I'm missing on her first skill since it's not 10 yet. Wait, you should still be able to 3-turn regardless. Or you like, do you not have like all your supports for that setup? Oh, and Kidu should be divine. Listen, Strom, it's whatever you want to think. For clarity, I already have Rain, so do I. I mean, look, Baker is like perm, so if you want to just like grab the one copy and hope she spooks you, go for it. But again, you guys know the deal with like hoping for a spook. It might never happen, so. That explosion sounds awesome. Yes. Looks like that completed quite a bit for me. Oh, I know why that completed quite a bit. It's because I actually did a freaking training ground for once. Or not. No, it was just the other missions. So wait, that still didn't count. Huh. Did I not get anything white there? I guess I'll just run it again. I don't care. I don't really need to be using my AP too much right now in JP, so it's not a huge deal. Isn't Faker in the FP pool? You mean Hephaestion? No, I assume you're talking about somebody else. You didn't get a drop? Yeah, I assume I didn't. No skin off my back, like, because of class score on JP, like, I'm still pretty okay, but it's not, like, any harm to me to, like, shore up some of my statues. And the first support banner has Castoria, and I don't oppose any of the other characters in any advice. Do you have Castoria? The answer is, if you don't have Castoria, you probably need to GSSR for Castoria. Over anything else. Did you see that they took it? I didn't, but like I've noticed that there's nothing half cost. Wait, why did I pop that this? Oh well. You don't? Yeah, then absolutely roll Castoria. Absolutely. Or anything else. Like, especially like you're saying, you don't have any problem with that banner, go for it. That's the best advice I can give you. Yep. Yeah, Castoria, like we could talk all about Oberon and like how he like makes damage scaling crazy, but like there is no unit that will just make this game as easy for you as Castoria is. Castoria can wait. Oh, about that. I ended up with a good outcome for my GSSR, pulled Muramasa, and then got Koyami and 15 tickets. Nice, Starhawk. Pinky Winky, thank you for the follow. Castoria's banners in 25 million download. It is. We have a lotto in 3 months? That too, yeah, so there is always that argument. I didn't see if we got a drop again. I keep getting distracted and reading chat. I'd even pay for JP GSSR on iOS. I have a JP account. So I do iTunes gift cards over there. And that allows me to. I got a statue? Yes. Seems like it worked. Yep. That got that done. JP is okay for now, so we'll let that be. You guys have seen kind of like everything on JP at the moment. So today, chat, I'm going to end up showing you guys today I'm going to end up showing you guys obviously my rolls and everything else. We're going to go probably right in because more than anything, there's like a ton of like QP that I have rotting at the moment. So I would like to like get Koyami, spin some of it down, yada, yada, yada. So we're just going to kind of go a little bit here. But let me... Let me double check the shop and everything. It doesn't matter. I'll just buy it all. Well, except that. That's useless. Okay. That's right. That's weird. They're like, you get like 30 of the foes. Okay. How many cops have been going for? Probably going for a decent amount. At least, like I said, probably in P2 is what my plan is. Not gonna touch GSSR at the moment because of that exact same reason. Okay, so chat's complaining there is no song request. Let me reboot. Do you need mana prisms? I don't. Close to pity on Koyami? I mean, if you're curious as to whether or not you should, like especially on spending, that's entirely up to you as to like whether or not to spend money on the game. There we go. Okay. All right, so like I said, chat, today we're going to be doing our NA rolls. I'm going to be rolling probably, like I said, NP2 of Koyami. I talked about the reasoning for why a little bit before I started recording here, but the logic kind of goes that she's more of a neutral unit in a lot of situations. She's really good at buffing the party in a lot of niche scenarios and sort of working with multiple damage dealers in order to be able to like handle waves. But so going at like NP2 in a scenario where she might be going up against like a first wave that she needs to take out herself in a neutral capacity, it's going to make it a little bit better for me. I have NP1 on JP. There have been a couple times where I was just like, man, if I just had a slightly stronger Koyami, I could have gotten away with using her here. So that's kind of what's fueling the desire here. But we're going to go ahead and go. Again, I hope mods did the Gamba already, but we're going to try. I love her NP. Her NP's great. Didn't look like the dance activated. So that was the paid La Single. I got 19 tickets, unfortunately. I don't have more, so we'll only be able to do the first 10. Someone remind me to stop there. Okay. And then here we go. She requires bones, and as such, to Fuyuki I go. Yes. He's gonna luck sack, I'm sure of it. I don't know, I luck sacked yesterday, so probably not today. Good luck, thank you, Lucas. Are the new C's good? The 5-star C is pretty nice. Do you use Sankort sub for the last ticket? No, I could. I absolutely could. I just usually let it, you know, go up to 10. Yeah, gonna be sad when you can exchange command code openers for Grails in a future update. I mean, like, listen, I'm someone that has like over 100 of them at least, so trust me, I won't be that sad if that were to ever be the thing. A little bit, I'm astounded that they keep putting them in there when they seemingly have no use. They've been one of the easiest skips in any shop over the past like 2 years at this point. That like I'm surprised they don't do something with it. I'm surprised they keep giving it regularly. I think they expect people to buy it, but I think everybody else is just going like, yeah, no. The dancing saber face is distracting, as it should be. Thoughts on the New Year's servant Takeru? I did my video on it yesterday. I have not gotten the chance to get it out yet, but Takeru is really good. Spooked by Vlad? Oh, I see. I know chat has been somewhat ornery about the fact that NA seemingly has not gotten its half cost dailies or its 2-time suck rate. Remember, guys, we did get all of that back during Thanksgiving, so I think maybe in the past they let us get away with double dipping, but I think they realized that they probably shouldn't. So that's we can't really be upset because I think we already got it, is the whole point. Are the new NACs good? The 5-star C. It's like 50% charge, buster up, and all attack scaling with a like star bomb on it. This is your last ticket. Thank you. Okay. So into the multi. Into the multiverse. Remember, he needs the C's too. That's true, yeah. Loading, GG. Oh, loading doesn't mean anything, chat. Like, you can get loading just from bad connection. And loading can be anything new as well. So, like, it could be like, woo, I got the 3-star C. Neo Knight, thank you for the 5 gift sub. Appreciate it, my man. And Nis, thank you for the resub. Yeah, if you guys were lucky enough to get a gift from Neo, make sure you guys thank him. And Happy New Year to you, Neo. And thank you for the Prime sub. Just download the data so that loading never means anything. That's true. There you go, chat. Chat, are the 5, are any of the new C's good? I don't know. Just look at the art. There's your answer. Are you really not gonna roll for it when you stare that Jolter in a kimono in the face? If Booba, then yes, exactly. This, thank you for the 40. Hope you're doing good today. You guys have a very auspicious sub renewal day. On 1/1/24 here. The first day of the, what is it, chat? Year of the Dragon this year? Surely that means Artoria is getting a buff, right? It's the Year of the Dragon. Is her outfit available? No, never. I at least need to save for summoning Summer Scotty. I understand. Laltercad, Lalter needs the buff? I didn't say which Artoria. I just said Artoria. I put one of my favorite dragon servants in my room. So did I. I also did that. It's telling me that Golden Sumo is a Mana Prism C, but Golden Carp is still in the vault. Which is why I say the Jolter C is great. Yeah, Starbomb Cs are nice. You're an Amish guy, thank you for the 34. Hope you're doing good today. Happy New Year to you. I think my room is still Summer Kama. Understandable. It just depends on who's on the banner, Zero. This is GSSR? No, this is Koyami rolls. I did not get to roll yesterday because I spent all of yesterday rolling on JP. So this is a good amount of just chillaxing and rolling. Did I roll GSSR? Yes. Melu buffs? Please no. Year of the Dragon technically starts February 10th. Okay. So as of February 10th, then. Year of the Dragon, guess I'm only using Melisson this year? But you only used Melisson last year. Did you get Yamato JP? I did. We got MP5. Let me relax from rolling by rolling some more. No, it's more like, let me relax from actually making content by having the easiest content in the world. The rolls, chat. Did you decide which GSSR banner you're rolling on? Chat, answer the question for me. So, GSSRs are always really tough on me because my NA account, especially on NA, my NA account is pretty stacked. So, like, it's more of a, like, how many USOs do you get from each banner? Like I have to sit there and, like, kind of calculate the risk. So I basically don't bother to try and decide ahead of time. Ronma, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Vote of the people. Listen, chat, I let you guys vote, and even though you guys had no bearing whatsoever on my choice yesterday for the GSSR, I let you feel like you did. Will you roll? Did I roll for Ryoma? I did not. I have Ryoma on JP, but I didn't get him on NA. We chose correctly. You did choose correctly. You got lucky. We're getting the 120 Jekyll CAD. Just stop resisting. You're not. Remember the people voted for Marieland too? Maestro, they don't remember that, but I do. And confirmed the single PR guy. If I'm the single PR guy, I'm the worst PR guy ever at this point. Itchin, thank you for the year. Eightfold blessing of Amaterasu. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a good new year. I wasn't there to vote for Marieland. It's okay, it didn't matter. But Marieland won in the vote, but it didn't matter. Cad gets paid with new saber faces. Damn, I'm not getting paid very often then. Wanted Castoria, got Go instead. Go's still pretty good. Go can do a lot of stuff in challenge content, but obviously it's not going to be like having new meta support, right? Because Cad actually hates us. Cad doesn't hate you. Don't believe Bob of the Mosses' lies. Yeah, Maestro has a signed thing from the from Tamamo's VA, basically. Lancer. Hello, first spook of the day. Yeah, I feel like at this point it wouldn't be a New Year's banner without spooks. Small snack, yes. Do you think it's worth to keep rolling GSSR when you have a solid account? Yeah. I think GSSR is always going to be the like best return on investment until you start getting into like high NP levels. And even then, you have a good like argument to make about, you know, hey, it's a very cheap USO that you'll be getting. Because like people usually at that end of the equation, like myself, we tend to like have USOs, and it's not a matter of will we exchange them, it's just a matter of how long do we go between exchanges, that sort of thing. So it's like, and I'm gonna say this, like I go a long time between exchanges compared to some other people that like cash it in almost every time they roll. That's just because I don't have like, you know, in P5 every single unit in the game. But there are people out there that do, and those people usually end up, you know, swimming in USOs. 11 USOs over here. Yeah, see, there you go. You should use them. The problem is with the USO system is most people won't actually ever use it. But Yeah, the whalier you are, the more likely you are to use it. So at that point, even still, GSSR is kind of worth because you get a cheap USO, as opposed to like having to spend a ton of money trying to get another copy of something. Gotta feel so bad though. It does. I have had a USO off of like 3 of my GSSRs throughout the years. So I'm pretty lucky in that regard that I haven't gotten more. But it'd be what it be, chat. Unidentified Saint-Quartz object? Yeah. How did I just notice Dancing Saber? Because someone redeemed it, and I felt bad because it didn't redeem, so I turned it on automatically. And then now... Well, you know what, chat? You know what? Let's leave it on. Because it, ironically enough, is the anniversary, like the New Year's Saber dress. So it works for New Year's. Would y'all call Ibuki a one small snake too? No. The first Super Ryan really early in GSSR, then first Scotty showed up at the very end. Nice. Yeah, like I said, doubles happen, chat. And I still want a second one. You can either choose to try and wait for a return banner, or you can say NP1 is good enough and try to hoard your quartz for whatever your next goal is. I think if you're concerned about spending money on the game, it should always be that your goal should just be to get one. Always. Like, free to play, obviously, this is the case. I think, like, even small dolphins, like, if you're gonna, like, not spend a lot of money, like you're very price conscious, I think, yeah, you should still be like very selective about when and where you spend. Never getting enough USOs to use them. Yeah, I think most people won't. I think like 99% of the population of the game will never be able to use USOs. 99% will never get them. And of the people that get one, 99% won't be able to use them. So it just kind of is what it is. Whoosh. Had something Foxy Darkside? Yes. Something rolls kind of crap right now. Hopefully there's something in this roll. Because so far we're basically like 200 quartz in and have only gotten the singular SR. And is asking a lot. It is. 1% really controls everything. I mean, the 1% is bankrolling the game for you. So, I've said this before. Like, they absolutely have to like cater to whales some, but like, it should never be to the extent that they push away their free to plays. Free to plays are what keep the game popular. What make the whales want to play it. Without that, you won't have it, and that ends up being an issue. So then free to play is who a whales flex to? Yeah, 100%. This is the entire concept behind why like NFTs don't work in video games. People will try to make the claim that they do, But unless people are actually there to play the game alongside the idiots buying the NFTs, the NFT players are not going to have anyone to flex to other than other NFT owners, and it's just going to become a like circle jerk. And then they'll get annoyed and bored and try to move on to another thing. So it's kind of one of those problems where like the vast majority of people don't like that concept. They're not going to want to play the game that has it. So that's kind of why like it's not to me in as far as I can perceive it. I don't think NFTs will work in video gaming. Anyways, chat, we're out of courts, so that means it's time to go farm some free quests. Really quickly. Although this will be less quickly because I have to switch over my account. Eh? Any tips for farming free quests as fast as you? So I've learned that by having a job, it really enables me to very quickly learn how to like press buttons fast. Also, sometimes having a credit card seems to make me really good at like hand swiping motions necessary to like, you know, scroll through menus and stuff. Yep. Just a second, chat. Okay. Looks like we should have it. There we go. Coming back in now with our free quests farmed. Happy New Year to you too, Ein. Hope your rolls this year are always good. I hope so too, but last year was probably my lucky year, right? So this is probably my unlucky year. Choice paralysis is hitting me real hard with lucky bag choice. It happens, Fate. And thank you for the follow as well. Cereal Flakes, thank you for the follow. SX Nalix, thank you for the follow. Sorry, I had to try and pronounce that one in my head. Fest is before Morgan's next banner, right? Yes, it should be before Morgan's next banner is at the Sea Monster Crisis. Yeah, it should be before it. Will there be a GSSR video? No, probably not. I, like, in a weird way, I talk about the GSSR, but I usually don't make a devoted video for it. If you guys want to know kind of what I think, I did go back. Well, let's see. I don't know. I'll talk about it before we go live. Friday I went over the JP one, but if you want to see my thoughts on that, you guys can go back to Friday's VOD. But for NA, I'll just end up talking about it as I try to make my choice. Did I get Koyan? No, we're still trying. You guys are always more than welcome to ask questions. Yeah. It does feel like New Year's and Annie are like deceivingly bare. Phantom Page got all this stuff, but then you get in and claim your game. So there's not half cost dailies or 2x suck rate because it happened at Thanksgiving. But Buster has Oberon. But does Buster have bad pulls for you? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And thank you, Zeus. Burgers are really good for the Tesla Fest round 190 plus rip. Yup. Hello, Silver Sakura. Does he fully ignore the YouTube chat? Yeah. Yeah. I just try to basically focus on one, then the other, then one, then the other. And Luis, we are rolling Koyan Sky of Dark. Aren't all banners rigged? I mean, no, but yes. I'll say this. I'm not getting, like, anything out of this banner so far, other than, like, I am getting the 5-star C, which is nice. Chat is needy, give us attention. Oh, I'm aware, but it's also difficult to give two different chats attention. I've been using her quite a bit. Seems Dark is now living up to her hard to get status for you. On JP, she was ticket pulled, which is why I assumed she would not be here. Usually it's whatever, it's like the opposite of whatever I had on JP. Get Cat Alter to help? No. Give him 2 double SSR rolls. Nice. I think I came back to JP a few hours early to the retuning master login. It happens. I think that's like... I wish they would just give it to accounts that had like returned within a certain period. Rather than like you had to return specifically when that like thing is up, like because it's usually like, hey, it's available for like a couple of weeks, but I feel like it should be like, hey, anyone whose account is newer than like blank days or something like that. Who's your favorite chat? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. YouTube chat's pretty chill. Twitch chat is very interesting. How do you feel about Draco being excluded from the GSSR? I don't like it. I talked about it yesterday. I think it's like, to me, I know why they're doing it. It's to increase FOMO. It's to make her a rare exclusive unit, stuff like that. I just don't think it's a good choice for them to do so. I think like at least put her on GSSRs, and if you don't want to give her a banner in a while, that's fine. But I think like not putting her on the GSSR just is absolutely telling, and I think that's like really, really bad for them. It's a bad look. Twitch chat master race. I'm the most toxic. You calling Twitch chat sus? Yes. It can only be Koyami. There we go, chat. NP1 finally. So, kind of wild. We've only seen 2 servants the entire banner, and she ends up being one of them. But I will take it. That's 1. Yeah, we got 1 more to go, chat. And oh, look, it's a Kyo, just like yesterday. And a Heaven's Feel. Well, at least it's not a Black Grail. Right before the 300?
Hi, NFF Call Center です。サーバント・フォーリナー。タマモビッチ・コヤンスカヤ。ご指名と聞き、着任いたしました。
High demand.
おや。私が皆様の手助けをするはずがないと。まさかあなたたち人間は私の遊び道具も同然全力で保護させていただきます
わ。Well.
それにねえ、人類の皆様を絶滅させるのに真剣になるというのも格好が悪いでしょ。
Alrighty. So that's copy number 1, but like I said, we're going for copy number 2. Never punished? What does that even mean? $301? Well, technically it was under 300. But it is what it is. Because it wasn't the last roll. Who did the mods award it to? Because that should have been under 300. It went to 300 or less? That's who it should have gone to. Yeah. Mods did it right then. Okay, I was gonna say. I was like, don't make me have to get angry at the mods. Controversy, yes. Someone's gonna demand a recount here. We're getting that specific now? I mean, technically, yeah. It was the last roll for them. Oh. Yo, why the FBI showing up in my YouTube stream? NP2 is fine for me, okay. I legitimately just want, like, enough that she'll be able to handle some stuff neutral. Start the new year off right? No. Anyone Grailcast on an A? I'll show it to you guys after we handle Koyami. And if you guys are curious how Grail casting works and all that, I have a video on that. Please, by all means, go watch it. I don't know if one of the mods can go grab it for people, but absolutely go watch it. It talks all about like the logic behind Grail casting and how you want to approach it. I threw my Nobukasu coins into it. Yeah, I mean, you're pretty safe. You had like thousands of them. Thank you, Ash. Yeah, there you go. Oh, there was such a smooth opening. There it is for you guys on the YouTube side of things as well. Archer. Is this like secret raid up between two servers right now? Atalanta just flying out of nowhere. We need a better way to roll FB. Oh, you have no idea. She's following you? Yeah, I'm being hunted. Who did I get in the GSSR? We haven't rolled the GSSR yet. Gold orbs again. At least this is turning around really quick. There it is, chat. We did it. So, like, nothing. Like dead zone for the first, like, 270 courts, and then easy mode. He can't keep getting away with this. Yeah, now this was a luck sack. It went, like, complete 180 at that point. There's no foreigner in the standard pool yet? I don't believe so. There we go. Nice and easy. Let me double check something here real quick, though, chat. How many craft essences did I get? Oh, exactly on the money. What the hell? Okay, I don't have to do any more. That's perfect. That's wild that happened. Normally I won't get so lucky and it'd be like, oh, you have to go back in and do a little bit more. But yeah, that is 5 for 5 on that. So I will take it. Again, for those of you guys that are just here for that, it is what it is. But now we got to do the GSSR. And I know you guys were asking, me before to go over it and stuff like that. So let's take a look. I never bother looking at the GSSRs ahead of time, mostly because my NA account doesn't care. So it's literally comes down to, who do I need? How many USOs am I potentially going to get on each banner? And so that's kind of the problem. So for instance, right here on this first banner, I have NP5. I have NP5. I have NP5. That's 3 potential USOs. I don't have a Stolfo. It's one of the rare units I actually don't have on my NA. And I do have, I believe, an NP2 or an NP3 of Say. So this first one, almost guaranteed not to be it. I don't have Izumo. I have NP5. I have NP5. I have NP5. And I have NP5. So this is probably not going to get rolled. And again, just to kind of give you guys an idea about like how good I think the units are. Obviously, Okitan Saber's really good. We just got done talking about Yamato Takeru on JP. And Okitan Saber's a quick unit, but Okitan still holds up in terms of like damage output against most of the other AoE Sabers. Obviously, you got units out there like Salter that are kind of nutty, but like besides that, like Okitan still does really solid damage and is still a really good unit. Say's a little bit still wonky. Refund's not quite there. She's a little bit more of a challenge unit in that regard. You can use her for farming, but not a whole lot of good stuff there. At least in terms of like ability to be able to get back to another MP. You're going to be brute forcing it. Shisho's still a very good unit. Absolutely got great niches at play. I think the biggest issue she has is only 20% charge for herself, but it is targetable, so you could put it on somebody else. The only problem is it's attached to her 50% quick up steroid, but I've found uses for that at times. Other people have too. So again, I still think she's a really, really hard-hitting single target Lancer. Okita here, always going to be a good single target Saber, no matter what buffs come and go, just because her card performance is actually really solid, especially for a quick unit. And Astolfo Saber, I feel like in a lot of ways wants to be Okita, still can do good damage, but I think the kit isn't quite there to be as fluid as Okita is. So it really just depends on whether or not you like Astolfo. Izumo just came out, basically our first offensive quick caster, and definitely really nice in the terms of like being able to do demonic stuff. So I do think Izumo is a good quality option if you don't have a single target caster. Same thing right here. We've got 3 Saberface in the background. All of them are good. All of them do solid damage. All of them are single target quick. Definitely, if you like quick, if you have good supports for it, go for it. Or if you just like the Saberfaces, feel free to. And then Kama, who is an absolutely stellar single target assassin, has 50% charge, unexpiring guts, the ability to charm enemies. So really, really good. Also anti-alter ego, and that's something that is not easy to deal with given the current status of pretenders, but we do at least have some pretenders now in the game. As for this one and how this banner fares for me, I have an NP2 Doman. I believe I have NP2 Jack de Malay. I have NP2 Tyra, NP5 right there, NP2 right there. I believe I just rolled maybe it was 2 of her and 2 of Meld. So this is 2 on all of these. There's actually quite a lot of really good units here. But there's also some units that I would say are like maybe not the best in terms of like, hey, I have nothing type deal. Like I'm gonna say Voyager is not a bad unit, but if you pull him and you're not really enthusiastic about him, that may feel like a dud to some of you. Same thing with Jack de Molay. It really just depends on how you guys feel on some of these units. But I will say Tyra, Melt, and Doman are all really, really solid. Even Dante's is actually a really hard-hitting looper. It just really kind of depends. Same thing with Karen. So definitely some good options here, but probably not a banner I'm going to end up rolling. Granted, at least that one doesn't have very high chance of a USO for me. Muramasa, absolutely fantastic. We did just have Yamato Takeru come out, and Takeru actually can exceed Muramasa's damage. But Muramasa is still always going to have a really, really solid kit, especially for challenge content. So it's completely up to you to decide there. Mel absolutely shouldn't be on this banner, but is for very obvious reasons. This is going to make it desirable for a lot of people. But the problem with this one is this is a real crapshoot because there are a ton of units here. Again, Bride's actually a really good sort of tertiary support, another support for like your backline, especially as a somewhat of a replacement for units that can refund well if you don't want to have to take and bond Castoria. Benny Enma's really good at single target boss killing capability. Again, you've got Jarcher there. You end up having Shiki here. Both of these are really solid AoEs, especially nowadays on JP with Shiki. And Squirtoria is always just going to be a stellar unit no matter how the game changes, because the ability to just sit there and keep refunding. She is our game's highest refunder still to date, and basically can just sit there and spam drain. So it ends up being really, really solid. Even Ryoma Lancer is actually pretty good. A lot of people thought bad about his refund numbers, but they're actually pretty solid. Problem is, he exists literally on the same banner here with Mel, and that should probably be your target. But Ryoma Lancer, if you get him, can still be used as an AoE Arts Lancer. You can still put him in a Arts variant of the Invincible comp and have him work, so he is pretty solid. For me, though, I have NP5, I have NP5, I have NP5, I have NP5. I have NP2, NP1. I did not roll an NP1 right here. So. Again, Musashi's still really solid. You're going to hear a lot of hullabaloo in the upcoming year here about Ibuki and how you must roll for her. You absolutely do not have to roll for her. Ibuki's a really good unit. She's AoE arts and got 50% charge. But Musashi, while she doesn't have the 50% charge, is still an AoE looping monster that has Invuln Pierce as a Berserker. Still really, really good. Absolutely a fantastic farmer, and even somewhat a challenge unit at times. So yeah, don't let anyone tell you Musashi's bad. Also, don't let anyone tell you have to roll Ibuki. Again, both of them are really solid, especially if you just want an arts AoE looping gene. Da Vinci is actually pretty awesome for what she can do for the party, and being a really just solid looper. Her only downside is her damage output. Da Vinci caster, almost the inverse. Her downside is her refund a little bit, but you can brute force it, but her upside is damage. She's actually pretty solid as far as AoE damage capability goes. Shooting, definitely solid damage, 30% charge, but only a single hit in piece, so you're not going to really loop unless you brute force it with charge and stuff. And then Murasaki actually has buff removal resistance in her kit, and anti-demonic niche as an AoE arts caster, so definitely some interesting stuff there. For me, this banner is in P5. Let's see, that may be it. I believe my shooting is in P3. That's in P1, that's in P2, and my Murasaki is only in P1, I believe. So, only one USO there, but still it's kind of spicy. Wow, Kama Summer here is really solid. Think of her as just the, devotedly arts version of like Space Ishtar. She does a little bit more with charm damage as a result, but certainly doesn't have the capability to like change her MP or anything like that. But she's consistent, she's good as long as you can land the charm. And again, I think she's a really solid option for you guys. Moon Cancer Kiara absolutely hits like a ton of bricks. Same sort of deal. She's debuff oriented, so as long as you can land the debuffs, she's going to do super effective damage to enemies, and it's really, really good. She's very hard hitting even for a neutral unit, even at MP1. The biggest issue with her is actually her refund, but she does have quite a bit of charge in her kit to be able to handle that. It just kind of depends. Her kit's kind of wonky, so make sure you understand how she works. Space Ishtar is right here as well, though, so if you're looking for like one of these two and you don't really have a preference, this is a fantastic banner to roll. And you also have Kiara's alter ego version, which is also a good AoE art. So this is like the predominant AoE arts banner for like extra classes for you. You still end up with Hokusai, who still, while she has trouble refunding, is still a very decent challenge unit. And Yang back here as a single target foreigner, again, a unit that scales really well off of burn damage. So up to you to determine whether or not you want to roll this. For me, this is NP5, NP2, NP5, NP3 actually there, NP2, and NP2. So I do have 2 USOs on that. Moriarty is actually really solid still as a single target Buster Archer. He doesn't get talked about a lot, but that synergy with Oberon and the fact that he's got 50% charge can actually make him just hit like a ton of bricks nowadays on JP and NA. So definitely don't overlook him. He's still really quality, even though you don't get a lot of discussion on him. Ibuki is absolutely fantastic as an AoE saber. A lot of people, like I said, on JP around this time had come into the concept of Ibuki being strong. A lot of that was due to her usage in Tunguska. People just finally realized how good she can be when put in the right sort of scenarios to succeed. Whereas I think a lot of people weren't giving her a proper chance. But the reality was, with the new Buster supports, she was naturally going to pop off. Arthur still absolutely needs his NP interlude. At this point, he's probably the worst of the SSR AoE sabers. And that's unfortunate because he absolutely should be a lot stronger. He'll probably get the attention at some point, hopefully this year on JP, but regardless, from any change happening on JP, you're looking at probably 2 years until it comes to NA. Still, if you like him, go for him. Bryn is a very solid single target Buster Lancer. She has 30% charge in her kit. She has the Bryn Hilver's beloved niche. Applies to a lot of stuff. You can definitely get a lot of work done on that with units being that she'll be effective against, but it's almost always going to be servants in that case, and absolutely not all servants. Roma is a really solid AoE Buster Lancer at this point, basically second only to Melisson in terms of his damage capability. And he's actually a really fun unit if you guys manage to use him. He can be really solid in challenge play as well. So he is an awesome acquisition. And then you have Ishtar here, who is a 50% charging AoE archer. For a long time, Ishtar was sort of top dog. Gil was the top dog for a long time. Then it became Ishtar for a long time. And now it's back to Gil. But again, don't let anyone tell you Ishtar's bad. She's still really, really solid in terms of her damage capability. For me, this banner is in P3, in P2, in P1, in P5, in P1, and I did not roll Roma. So this is a reasonably safe one, other than if I get Arthur. Gil, as we just got done saying, is really, really solid. For me, that's an NP2. Musashi's absolutely fantastic. She still hits like a ton of bricks. She's still the hardest hitting single target saber. But there are scenarios in which people can pass her. There are scenarios in which you just may not want to use her due to her kit. but her kit has had some upgrades. It has come a long way, especially the 5th form buff. So I do think she's still a really, really good unit and a really fun unit. For those of you guys that played Samurai Remnant and you like her, go for her. You won't regret it. She's absolutely fantastic. Sigurd, I think Sigurd gets a bad rap from a lot of people because his MP damage isn't super high, but he makes up for that by having being tied for the second highest crit amongst, second highest attack amongst all sabers, and then he has 100% crit damage. So he's really, really just, hard hitting in terms of his cards. So if you're focused only on his MP numbers, please understand that's not the whole deal with Sigurd. Being able to pop off with him with crits, I've seen his crits hit harder than his MP at times. So that kind of tells you where your focus should be with him. Erish has come a long way. She is certainly in a much better place than she used to be due to her NP interlude and gaining the super effective Earth niche. She's kind of past Lartoria, who she had been kind of neck and neck with for a long time. And now we kind of see that she's at least in a good place for those of you guys that like her. She's not going to be dealing Melisson numbers, but she can still go to work for you in most scenarios in which you would need her. And then, again, as we had talked about, Tamamo Lancer certainly ends up getting better with that charge buff to her 3rd skill. That really allows her to be used, whereas before it was a lot more difficult to use her outside of challenge content. Now you can just throw her in there and have her sort of automatedly charge and get to an NP and fire it off. You could also make her 3-turn due to this in the Koyami system. So I think this is a really solid buff for her. The damage issue still remains, but hopefully at some point they revisit her and give her an NP interlude. Again, like I said, this is NP2, this is NP5, NP1, NP1, and NP2 for me. Koyami of Light, for those of you guys that want to roll her here, she is absolutely a great pickup. This may save you rolls down the line, but do keep in mind that she will be having a banner later in January here. It's only available for 2 days, so be very careful with that. But again, you will have another opportunity to actually roll her outside of a GSSR, so if this allows you to pick a different GSSR, that's good for you. Again, Arjuna Alter has always been a strong unit. I've seen a lot of weird takes on him. I see people concerned that he needs a buff now in JP. I see people that had been absolutely talking about how he was the best unit in the game and everybody had to have him suddenly just go completely silent and or quit the game at this point. Again, guys, please understand, he is really, really solid, really, really strong, but again, you don't have to have him, and nor does he need a buff. He's still our hardest hitting AoE berserker at this point. You can make other people in select niches and situations outpower him, but at the end of the day, he's still really, really solid. Again, does he need a buff? No, I think his damage is perfectly capable. The only thing you got to watch out for him is the target going to be, debuff immune, because that's where he gets a good chunk of his damage from. So again, he can be forced to 3-turn. You can throw him in there now in the Koyami system due to that 30% charge skill. So just make sure you unlock the mana loading and it'll be good. Cleo gets a bad rap because Cleo doesn't necessarily have the best performance for being able to 3-turn and such. You can force it, but at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you that Cleo's real use is actually going to be as a challenge unit. Her card capability is actually really stellar, and she actually has quite a bit of defensive capability between invuln, heal, and defense that she can kind of just sit there and rotate through. So again, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're looking at Cleo just for the damage capability and the numbers and such, you're probably missing the forest for the trees. Iskandar still hits really hard as an AoE. His biggest issue is he has no charge, so you can't 3-turn with him. Again, at the end of the day, though, I still think he's a really solid unit for damage capability, and who knows, maybe in the future they'll revisit him and decide he maybe needs some attention, but for now, he is what he is, and he is just a solid, triple steroid type of unit. Mama Raiko got a recent buff that gave her 30% charge. This is what caused some of the weird takes on Arjuna Alter, because basically put her in contention with him once again. That was good. She needed that. She was a unit that I think for a long time had really struggled. So it was very happy to see her get that buff, and she is now in a much better place on JP than she had been for years on an A. If you're trying to get her here on an A, please understand she will eventually get that buff and she'll be good. But in the interim, even if you don't have a charge skill, she still has the capability of being really solid for you as a sort of demonic killer or earth or sky killer. Ilya has 50% charge, definitely hits pretty hard nowadays. Very solid as a single target caster option. Hijikata's a 1 HP memer as long as you have the ability to basically sacrifice him, like with, say, Chen Gong. You can do really solid damage with him. He does have his gut skill now, so he actually can do this, whereas before he didn't have it, and that was one of his issues. For me, this banner ends up being a little bit of a weird one. I have NP2, I have NP1, I have NP1, I do not have Ilya, I have NP1, I have NP3, and I have NP2 right here. So no NP5s in that one. That's the first non-USO banner. Morgan Le Fay, as we've talked about, it's really solid. This is another reason for the Arjuna altar takes that we had kind of seen. You had a 50% charger enter the game for Buster, AoE Berserkers, and Morgan Le Fay is really good. Morgan Le Fay is pretty much not going to pass Arjuna altar in terms of damage in most scenarios. But she does have niche damage, and she is a really usable unit with the 50% charge, being able to be used with like a 30% charge CE that's non-MLB in a lotto or something like that. And again, you could also look at it from the standpoint of she fits into the Invincible comp, the Immortal comp, whatever you want to call it. It allows her to basically act as the sort of AoE damage dealer in that comp, but also give overcharge to everybody else in the party, allowing Castoria to get her maximum stacks and be able to protect the party for a long time. So it's really, really good to have at least one copy of Morgan. Again, you've got over here Caster Umu. Caster Umu still hits really hard, even for a year 2 unit. I think at this point, I wouldn't mind seeing her maybe get like some sort of tension, maybe like an NP interlude, but otherwise, I don't really see what they're going to give her. And she's still really strong even without it, so I'm not surprised they don't want to revisit this for a while. Ivan's come a long way. He used to be more of a challenge unit. Now that he's got that 30% charge, he's actually a really hard-hitting, probably our hardest-hitting AoE rider at this point within a 3-turn scenario, as you're going to be able to really pop off and damage with him. Kentoki absolutely does bonkers damage with his new NP interlude, so he's also a really, really solid choice. And King Hassan definitely has had a lot of attention and upgrades over the years. He's still a really good challenge unit, really heavy hitter, so definitely a really cool unit to have. Semiramis is the odd one out here. Semiramis absolutely needs attention. She hasn't had any, and she's really not doing good in comparison to even any of her AoE 5-star assassin counterparts, and even the welfares that contend with them. So she's kind of getting beat in all aspects right now, and she really needs some love. Okay, so then, and I actually didn't talk about that, so this is an NP5, this is an NP5, this is only NP1 for me on this. This is an NP2, this is an NP1, and this is now an NP1. Or NP2, actually, I think, on Semi. Abby Summer absolutely gets a bad rap from people. She's really good. We talked about this with Takeru's recent appearance, that the whole splash damage mechanic, as long as you're smart and can utilize it effectively, it's actually really solid, but a lot of people aren't. So again, she's not a bad unit. She's 50% charge. She can sleep people. That's actually really cool that she can do that. And she can get quite a bit of damage capacity and does have the ability to buff strip in an AoE capacity. So she is really, really a solid option for people. But I think a lot of people just didn't really either like her design or like the character and decided that they wanted to bash. Oberon absolutely represents a huge power spike in damage in the game and in charge capability. If you want to be able to 3-turn with just about every single unit in the game, I highly recommend picking up your own Oberon, because for some units, having double Oberon is the only way that they're going to be able to 3-turn. Again, enough can be said about his damage capability, though, and he is going to absolutely help you once we start getting to 90++ nodes coming this year. We've got a triple setup here of Saber Faces. Jalter has come a long way and still does a lot of good damage, especially for a single target Avenger. She's still absolutely worth your attention. I've seen people over the years try to claim that she is overhyped or something like that. She's not. I think it's just people not liking popular units, and it is what it is. Oki-Tan has actually come a long way as well. I think a lot of people, when Oki-Tan first came out, thought Oki-Tan was not good. Oki-Tan is able to 3-turn now with the Buster supports and can do it quite well. It's not going to be like Tiamat levels of damage, but you guys still have plenty of time before Tiamat comes out. And Oki-Tan absolutely can still work for you in the interim. And, you know, just because Tiamat's doing crazy damage doesn't mean that Oki-Tan's damage is bad. Bunny, I think a lot of people get really, like, you know, down on Bunny. You guys know I'm a Lartoria fan, so obviously, you know, people are going to accuse me of bias here, but I can safely say, as someone that has probably used Buntoria more than any other person here, she is absolutely fantastic if you set her up to succeed. The ability to be able to party shuffle, and if you use double Koyanskaya, sorry, not party shuffle, card shuffle, and the ability to use double Koyanskaya with that to do it again means 100% party-wide crit damage on her own. And it means the ability to make sure you kind of get the cards that you want, since she can exclude one of the other people. She's actually the most consistent partying-oriented unit in the entire game because of this. And a lot of people seem to discount that, because I have managed to, even with NP1 of her, manage to kill nodes that I had no business killing consistently using card RNG. So that should tell you quite a bit, because compared to a lot of other card RNG people, very hit or miss. With her, she's going to be able to get that really, really solid as long as you have her, you know, well invested in. But again, I think a lot of people look down on her. A lot of people were more focused on the 4 stars on the banner that she was on. And so I've seen a lot of weird, you know, interpretations of her kit. But again, she's another unit. Don't miss the forest for the trees on her. BB Summer here is really, really solid. Oh, yeah, again, I should probably tell you my NP levels. NP6, due to crazy shenanigans with 4 stars. NP2, NP5, well, actually NP6 there, but NP5 and NP5. So we definitely ain't rolling that banner. At least I'm not. You guys can certainly. BB Summer is another interesting unit. BB Summer is a really cool one. I really like the fact that she can card lock. That's super awesome. And we just got done talking about consistency with, like, say, Bunny's kit. The issue at play with BB is card locking gets rid of the consistency issue, but not entirely, because you still have to get the cards in the first place. So if you get the cards, boom, you've got them. But if you don't, oh no. So that's kind of the issue with BB, is being able to get the cards that you want to actually lock in. But I do think she's a really fun unit, and a unit that probably everybody should pick up at least one copy of at some point, just to, like, be able to experience that and have fun in certain fights. King Protea is also a really challenge-oriented unit. You can use her in farming. You can brute force her and force her to be able to 3-turn, but it's not the best, most ideal of setups. She actually can hit really hard. She also can have sort of the highest health in the game. It just requires a little bit of wind-up, but I do think she's a really interesting and fun unit to use as well. Mao Nobu is the prime example of be careful who you make fun of in high school, because a lot of people thought Mao Nobu was the worst unit in the game when Mao Nobu came out. I, you know, pretty blatantly said that this was not the case and people were overreacting. Not only did that turn out to be true, but Mao Nobu has gotten quite a bit of buffs at this point and now might be the best AoE Avenger, just depending on how you look at things. So again, definitely take a look now that Mao Nobu has all the buffs. You can 3-turn with her in a double Koyanskaya setup, and it does hit very hard, especially in niche. Again, we've got Amakusa. He's gotten a lot of attention over the years. His 3-turn is still really weird, but he does have that ability to AoE buff strip with his NP, so that's always going to have a nice use. And then Abby can buff strip with her single target NP. It is a really good sort of boss fighter. She can have the ability to sort of get the party charge NP damage and then also debilitate the enemy by stunning them with terror and such. So she's still a really, really solid option. For me, this banner is NP3, NP2, NP2, NP, I think just 1 here, and NP1 here. Castoria here, absolutely. I've had a lot of people ask me, like, if I don't have Castoria, what should I roll on? This is the banner. Flat out, you will not regret this. You might get other units on here, but, like, you guys should always, if you don't have Castoria, pretty much be trying to go after Castoria. The only reason you would not is if you had, like, all the other units here and you maybe wanted to wait until the 25 million downloads campaign for her actual banner. that will be coming back this year. So again, that'll happen sometime around May, but it's just up to you guys to determine. Again, though, I'm going to say no unit in this entire GSSR will make as much of a difference for your account as Castoria will if you don't have her. So absolutely fantastic. She's really good at protecting the party and absolutely phenomenal for buffing any number of arts units that exist in the game. USH here is actually a really solid solo artist. There are certain fights he can't solo because it just comes down to, like, does the enemy buff strip and such. But at the end of the day, he's really, really good. He can do really solid crit damage and can kind of just outlast a lot of his rivals. But again, it's up to you to determine if that's the strategy you want to do your fights with. Van Gogh is also going to be a very challenge-oriented unit. I have seen some meme builds where people manage to actually 3-turn farm with Van Gogh, but that's highly reliant on card RNG. Still, really a awesome unit in terms of crit capability, and I will say that Van Gogh is a very fun unit to use in challenge scenarios. Brains is a unit that is going to be really good for buffing a single sort of looper. Basically, she's not specific to any card type, kind of like Waver in that regard, but she is a 50% charger and she will help out one unit more than, say, like Waver helping out multiple units will. And Miss Crane is a really good challenge support, especially anything with break bar. She's going to be able to be that sort of free party rotation for you, so definitely a solid unit. I know a lot of people aren't too enthusiastic about her. I do think she could be designed a little bit better, but I do think she is still worthy of your attention. Definitely don't look the gift horse in the mouth if you get her. Again, for me, this banner ends up being NP5, let's see, I think that's 1 here. I believe that's 1 here, and 1 here, and 1 here. Merlin ends up being, still to this day, a really solid option. He is still going to be your premier Buster Challenge support. I know a lot of people think, like, Merlin needs a buff. They thought that before Koyanskaya and Oberon came out, but Merlin absolutely didn't need a buff. He's still broken. He's still really, really strong. People try to combat me with that all the time. They say, oh, he just needs X or Y. The reality is Merlin still is one of the best healers in the game. Still can protect the party with his AoE invuln, and still absolutely can scale damage very well, especially crit damage in the right set of circumstances. He can be used in the Invincible comp, so I highly recommend getting a Merlin if you don't have one already. Super Ryan is just absolutely a crit monster. You guys have seen all of the memes of him doing, like, 400k plus damage with one of his crits, so it absolutely can be awesome to have. Just keep in mind that he's very much a sort of like one and done. He needs to use it, have all the stars align, get his crits, and then he probably won't be able to do it again for like another at least 3 turns, but it really just depends on kind of the setup. Again, you end up having Scotty here. This is another meta support, which kind of makes this a pretty good banner for those of you guys that maybe wouldn't have Scotty or Merlin. You've got 2 chance odds of pulling a really solid unit to help your account out. And again, Scotty, even though we have Summer Scotty coming into the future, can still be good. It allows you to have a double Scotty team under your own power. That is to say, having Summer Scotty and OG Scotty means you can have double Scotty without having to rely on a support. So it may allow you to mix and match, or again, if you just can't take a support, it just really depends. But it also will allow you to form a triple Scotty team down the line should you choose. Again, I get all sorts of questions over Sherlock and how good he is. He's still one of the only units that can give invuln to other people in the game. Sorry, invuln pierce. And that's going to always make him useful, but at the end of the day, he's never going to be meta. He's just going to be a fun challenge unit to use. Same thing with Himiko here. She's a very challenge-oriented Buster crit unit. She can do good things for you, and she can work in the Invincible comp because she gives the party overcharge capability, so I do think she's a really solid and fun unit as well. For me, this banner is NP1, 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 and NP1. An interesting one. And then that's it. We finally went through all of them. So for me, chat, I don't know what I'm going to choose at this point. Probably not going to be this. Probably not going to be that. It could be this. There's no USO in this. But it's probably not. Oh, no, there is Dante's. I was going to say. It's definitely not going to be this one. I have a USO here. Let me check a couple things, actually. I gotta go check, double check to make sure I'm right on those MP levels. So this should be MP5. It is. This should be NP2. It is. NP2. It is. NP5. It is. Okay. And wait, was this MP2 or was this only MP1? Ooh, Mount Nobu I only got MP1 of. How do you get your Saint Courts on JP? I do JP iTunes gift cards, but you have to have a JP iTunes account. Yeah, that makes that a little bit rougher since I have 2 USOs there at minimum. Arthur's the only USO here. This makes this one an option, but I don't know about that. I wouldn't mind a copy of Roma, but I don't know about that. My Musashi is in P5 here. Ugh. Get that, Ilya? Yeah, that's like... Interestingly enough, I wouldn't mind more Mama Raiko. I wouldn't mind more Koyanskaya. And, you know, NP2 of him never hurt anyone, so... Yeah, that one's not getting rolled. That one's not getting rolled. Like, it's kind of wild because, like I said, I think that's 3, I think that's 1, I think that's 1, 1, and 1. So, like, there's quite a bit of capability there. No. And then this one, chat. So this one I only have 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. So I have everybody, but I don't, like, it's just NP2 of someone there. So I think it is down to those 2. You have MP5 Merlin? Wait, did I roll MP5 Merlin on today? You may be right. I do think I did that. I do remember doing that. Somehow that, like, slipped my mind. Because those rolls were very chill. Where is he? Fudge. I did not remember doing that. Check your Koyanskaya of Light, too. I don't think I rolled for high NPs of her. I think I just got the NP2 of her. Let me double check. Oh, fudge. Did I luck sack that, chat? Did I luck sack? This is the problem with having 2 accounts.
そろそろクエストに戻る？いいよ。
Well, that doesn't make things easy. That basically means he's out of this. So then it comes down to this, because he, like, getting an additional MP level, I had, for the longest time, I had MP1 of Merlin on NA, and that's where, like, my brain is getting warped here. Chad, I think it's this one. I think it's just this one, and we're just doing it. And, like, hopefully I get Mao Nobu. I'm probably not, so we're sending it, chat. Oh my god. What? That is the redemption arc right there. Oh, streamer luck? No, chat. No one gets to declare luck. No one gets to declare luck on this one. If you know, you know. No one gets to declare luck on this one. That is 100% redemption. Was that 1,800 Saint Quartz for Nobu? No. That was like 2,700 Saint Quartz for Nobu. That was my most expensive NP1 ever. Deciding to finally be like, hey, okay, here's NP2. Yeah, this is what I was owed. Oh. Okay. I was like, holy shit. My heart stopped for a second there. I was like, god damn. I was not expecting that. Yeah, Gorgon's nice. I don't know if I have NP5 Gorgon. Gorgon's the only 4-star you can get on this one. Nice. Could have been Doggo, that's true. But we'll just have to see. Feel like a man dying of thirst watching another man drown. That wouldn't be bad if I didn't already have NP5 of him, but that would actually be a really solid role if like this is like a free-to-play account. That'd be amazing at this point. I know, because I got Doggo. Oof. Yeah, chat, I will take it. That was not luck. That was like past due payment. that brings the Mao Nobu average down to whatever half of 2,700 is, chat. So it's still not like cheap. But I will take it. Definitely a much nicer end to that. "100% pure skill," yes. She forgave you? I don't know that she had anything to forgive. Mao Nobu just was trying to be, like, asshole-ish. That's all it was. You got 8 servants on a multi-roll? It happens. Especially in GSSRs. Oh, I'm so happy my Mao Nobu is stronger. I cannot believe I got the unit I wanted there. I thought it was going to be Amakusa for sure. I really did. Oh, man. On the first roll, too. Yep. Okay, hold on. No, not a pin. Okay, so let's see. Let's get her in here. What? There we go. Okay, so we got Koyami. We didn't luck sack that one into NP4 or whatever. Yeah, that's only NP3 of Gorgon for me. I don't even remember where I got the second copy. Hello, Faye. How's it going? Happy New Year's to you. Anyone else there that is not a USO? There we go. Looks good. Time to burn, baby, burn. So just the two rare prisms, which should be... Atalanta... And then, where's Small Snack? Am I missing her? Yeah, there she is over here. Yeah. Yeah, both of them I guarantee are in P5 on that account.
Yeah.
Go ahead and MLB. Oh, chat, y'all missed it. Off stream, I did a YOLO solo and ended up getting the 5th copy before the banner went away. So I now do have to, like double MLB of this. Sorry, triple MLB of it. I have a servant that's higher MP than Cat. I'm happy. Like I said, I don't NP5 every unit in the game. I don't even roll every unit in the game. I just whale a lot on some units. There are definitely bigger whales than me. I'm just a very smart whale most of the time. I know what I need, and I know how much of it I need. Okay. And we got MLB of the Jalter C. Again, like I said, this is a pretty good one. It is all attack scaling. It is Buster of 10%, NP charge of 50%, and 15 stars when entering battle. So pretty nice, like, hybrid between stars and starting charge. And then it just has 10% Buster to add to that. Like, that's pretty much icing on the cake at that point if you need it. Read the text, pretty cute. Let me find it. Do I have any resolutions? Hell no, but I do have this one-of-a-kind kite I drew up. And, of course, she's tsundere. Excellent. Okay, so wait, did that actually resolve my... No, it didn't. I'm not gonna need those. I don't need triple MLB Heaven's Feel. I gotta double check to make sure I have all the copies of some of these. But these are old enough that I know I do. Look at those K-scopes Cads JP could have. No, chat. You should see the Black Grails. You should see the Black Grails. I don't keep Black Grails anymore. I have too many of them. I wish the game would give me my last Black Grail. Yeah. It's always pretty rough. Okay. So let's go ahead and level her up. Koyami, what do I got for you? Actually, I don't have any foes at the moment. Be another Grail. Inventory is full, of course it is. I'll have to deal with more of that. Okay, so that should be it. I'll get my last copy for free with this one. Yeah. Story luck is hell. Did Grail casting come earlier than expected? No. Came exactly when expected. Like I said, if you guys want, go check out my video on it. I talk all about, like, the logic behind it and everything. Wait. Let's do that real quick, but it's not gonna matter. Actually... yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't know why I have those, I guess from farming the, LB6 node, I have, like, just some spare crap embers. And when I say crap, I mean, like, they're not the right class for anything I need to level. So you're just gonna see me kind of chuck in there and do that. Dog's been really tired lately. I mean, they were up pretty much all night last night due to fireworks, so understandable a little bit. Pull that out. And then let me double check here. I have 113 days. Will we roll another unit within basically 3 months? Yeah, Bazette should be there. So we should be safe. All of those are plus 11s. Let me just quickly draw out here whatever plus 10s I still have. This is all just in the sake of, like, freeing up room, so to speak. Okay, we'll start taking some 11s. Okay. Any embers with less than 90 days you should use now. Yeah, that's usually how I view it. But I should be fine, chat. Grail casting alone is gonna, like, just eat my entire ember supply. Like, I'm gonna go from somebody that always has embers to someone that never has embers. Just like that. The only time I will ever have embers at this point will be, like, around lottos and such. How's Faker at MP1? Definitely some damage issues.
ここからは NFF サーカスの座長としてお使いいたしましょう。とはいえご注意のほどを。私の興行は人のためではなく獣たちのための興行。餌食になるのはあなたたち人間であることをお忘れなく。
So wait, are the humans the animals in this circus? Yeah, this is probably my least favorite ascension for her, but it's still a nice one. I just prefer first or third. What is Bakin and Breedomart? Bakin's at the dog event basically in the middle of the year, and Breedomart's basically November at the lotto. Oh no, I love the third. The third ascension's really good. What is Cutting Dark's next banner? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head. Chat, does anyone happen to remember?
無事霊気再臨が終わったようですね。ですがもう余裕はありません。次ではち切れてしまいそうです。
New Year's? So basically a year.
私の本性受け止められる自信は終わりですか、マスター。
Any idea on the Cs that give bonus to farming certain mats? You mean the advanced quests? They start this year. I believe we get our first batch like here in January, don't we, chat? Which third ascension do I like more, light or dark? Dark. I definitely like darks a lot more. Dark's cool. The like blood dripping from the tails and stuff. I really like it. You guys will see. I like light's third ascension, but it's not like that big of a deal to me. I actually keep my light in random ascension. I'll catch your reader profile when you finish leveling her up. I will. Light final ascension is superior though. Fat bunny ass. Yeah, you're not wrong. Final ascension is sadly not an ascension, right? Like it's there, but you don't get to see it on the sprite in game. It's awesome art, but it's like, man, I wish some units' final ascensions actually were a sprite in the game. Infinity Ninja, thank you for the follow. Sleepy Ash, thank you for the 6 months. Wasito, thank you for the follow. Ginkgo Wave, thank you for the follow. Eve, thank you for the 10. Bob Mosses, thank you for the 56. Mail, thank you for the 33. SD0G, thank you for the 22. I believe I got all of you. That's a long name. Yeah, that's why I call her Koyami. She has 6 bunny ears. Yeah, like, the ears are the only weird thing for me in this ascension. And they're still not as weird as Draco's ears on Arcade. So. I just, this very much, this ascension chat is like... like the I will kill you ascension. This is also like the cutest one where she's most like Tamamo. Just saying, chat. Koyami stare win. Oh, almost all of my emotes now at this point are Aurelia or the dogs. Or me. So.
さすがは私の信者。良い心がけです。このありがたいお札を1枚。
The song's a banger? It is. It is a banger. No Nobu step? Yes, Nobu step. I will allow Nobu step this one time. Cat is into girls that will top him, confirm? No. No, I very much am never stick your dick in crazy.
闇と知りながらここまで来るとは。あなた、天の弱な人間ですのね。では、心霊モードはしばし封印を。
You have to rave dance to it then? No.
神の感情はおおらかなので、悪意も好意もさして大差が。
Would you recommend grailing Kind of Dark? If you like her, yes. I usually tell people, like, it basically boils down to like, you know, grailing should not be a gameplay choice. It should be a choice of, like, who you like. You know, like her bloody feet. Yeah, if you're not into, like, the blood aspect, I think, like, the third ascension probably terrifies people. Or disgusts them. Is she supposed to be a rabbit? Why does she look like a fox? Because I don't want to say it necessarily for spoiler, but I guess it's not spoiler at this point. But like, if you paid attention during Tunguska, she literally is said to have the same spirit origin as Tamamo. Which is why, like I said, people trying to say that she's not Tamamo are not right in how they're saying it. I get the, like, semantics of the argument, but it's incredibly misleading to say she's not Tamamo. I thought light is the bunny, dark is the fox. Probably both. This is why you should read her profile? Yeah. Yeah, she's 100% a Tamamo variant. She's just not one of the Tamamo 9. And I think that's something that, like, really is difficult for people to grasp, right? It's, the way you can make this, chat, is think about the Sakura 5, and then think about Kama. Kama is Koyenskaya in that case, right? Like, Kama is not one of the Sakura 5, but she is a Sakura face. In the same way that Koyenskaya is a Tamamo face, but she's not one of the Tamamo 9. Also, chat, look at that juicy fucking Ember. God damn. I just noticed that. It was like, what the hell? Why is that good? It was never explained why there is a light and dark version in the event, correct? That's one of my issues with Tunguska. I think it absolutely should have been explained. Y'all got embers? Yep. Could you have Tamamo's origin and not be a Tamamo Skywalker no Mei? Probably, yeah. I told you guys, embers were gonna start, like, really being a thing now that we're headed into Grail casting, okay? As NA gets to Grail casting, it's way more prepared than JP was. Plenty of people on JP don't do their Grail casting. On NA, plenty of people will do it until they run out of coins, and then they'll stop doing it. This is what it is. Wait, what am I doing? Okay. I don't even have to look on this first skill. Let me go double check on the latter two here what my plans were. What if you run out of FP? How can you keep Grail casting? If you run out of coins and you run out of FP, you cannot. Like, there's no other way to get coins other than rolling. Yep. This is gonna use all of my crystallized lures too. Okay, so I only have her slotted in at 1088. That's friggin' wild. I think it's because the last one is meteor shards. Yep. Yeah, the first one's the one you absolutely must lure. Yeah, it's 2 grails a month and 2k per grail, so it's 4,000 a month. Like 4,000 coins. I'm gonna show you guys how grail casting works right here. Okay. And you probably do want her mana loading unlocked and lured, chat. They get crystallized lures? Basically from completing events. You usually get them from defeating the challenge quest in an event. You can buy one from the shop each month, which I may or may not need to do. Let me double check that. Thank you for the reminder. Oh, right. Yeah, we've got the New Year's version. Well, that means there's another one I can buy. God, we got another one for that. I'll go ahead and buy my Bond Grail since I used one. Actually, I think I used like 3 during the lotto, so. But lottos are usually the only time I end up using a bunch of them. Okay, so chat, you guys want to see Grail casting? Now, unlike you guys, I actually didn't like sit there and spam roll on JP, or sorry, on an A for Gouda 5 rerun. I didn't get to. I basically I had the opportunity, but I was straight up burnt out from doing so much FP rolling on JP. That said, I've gotcha'd enough throughout the year that this has been available that I still have a shit ton of coins. So I'm not worried about running out, plus if I ever were even remotely close, roll out my FP. Anyways, the logic that I want you guys to understand, okay, is if you guys look, there's Holy Grail casting available 2 times remaining. 30 days left here. So the way to think about this is every month you get two grails that you can print. It's like 3D printing a Grail. It costs 2,000 coins in order to basically make one of those 2 Grails. This number on the outside will update. It will tell you how many more times you can Grail cast within the month until it says 0. So at that point, once it says 0, it'll tell you no more, like it'll say 0 times this month, so you'll know I don't have to go in there and do it anymore. But I usually tell people handle it early in the month and then forget about it until the next month. Then when it ticks over for a new month, you go, gotta do Grail casting and do it, okay? So that's usually the concept at play here. But again, you only have 2,000 coins that you need for each Grail. And I say only 2,000. That's a lot of coins if you're actually rolling out your FP to get this. Basically, for us here on an A, we start out with a Horde because we had we had coins from rolling added to an A over a year early. JP only had coins on their rolls at this point for the last like 6 months when this came out. Okay, so this was a new thing for them. Also, remember, this is where JP got pity, so now we will be like headed into the future the same as JP did. So no longer are we going to be that unique or different. But again, this is a decent chunk of coins. For us that have a Horde, it's not going to take us that long to do this. JP, definitely this is a little bit more precarious. The big thing I want to warn you guys, if you start to run out of coins and you're worried about being able to complete a Grail for that month or the months in the future, don't Grail cast. What do I mean? If you're even remotely worried that you will not be able to get to 2,000 coins to complete a Grail, do not put your coins in. Coins that have been put into the Grail casting cannot be retrieved. And if the month ticks over, you lose your progress. It will reset everything at the end of the month, including how many coins you have put in. So, if you can't reach 2,000 before the end of the month, don't do it. That's the way to think about it. Be very, 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 very careful. Okay? Otherwise, oh boy. Why did it limit us to 2 Grails each month? Because Grails are a very limited resource and Grail casting is seemingly making them much more accessible. We didn't have Grail casting prior to that point. It used to be that Grails were highly restricted. Now, with Grail casting, you get 2 extra every month, which means you can get up to, chat, up to 24 extra Grails a year that didn't exist before. So it's a huge thing. Please understand that. Okay? Now, how do you go about using your coins? Well, chat, the big thing I'm going to tell you is, especially if you have a horde of coins right now, y'all should probably go into your appends and for all of your 3 stars and lower, at least unlock all of the appends. Because as you start getting low on coins, you're certainly not going to unlock your appends. I know a lot of people are of different mindsets on this. They go, I'm never using my 3 stars. I don't need it. Whereas I'm of a different viewpoint. I'm of the viewpoint that said, if I ever did need my appends on my 3 stars and lower, I would. I would want to have it. That way it's just ready. And I'm going to tell you, the logic here is that I have crazy amounts of coins to be able to spend. The only other people that I see espouse the other logic usually are people that don't have a lot of coins. To which I question why you don't. And I'm not saying this from a whale perspective. I'm saying this from a, y'all should have FP. You should have been able to roll out a lot of your FP at certain points. You should have a lot of coins for these units, at least at this point. So if you don't do it now that you're at Grail casting, you will never do it after that point. I'm just going to go ahead and be realistic with you and tell you, you will never unlock that append if you don't do it now while you have the coins. It will take you a lot longer. If you guys go watch my video on Grail casting, I break down the expected rate of return of coins for every single FP roll. And let me tell you how long it will take you whenever you get a new 3-star unit to be able to unlock the coin, or sorry, the appends for them. It's not a fast process. You're looking at millions of FP getting rolled out before you would have enough coins for one 3-star to unlock all of their appends. Please understand, it is a long and arduous process. We're going through this right now on JP with 2 new 3-stars that just came out. If you've rolled the gacha, you'll have maybe gotten lucky and gotten a bunch of copies like I did the other day. If you don't, you won't have that, and you'll just be sitting there waiting for them to show up. And the thing you guys got to understand too, for any one specific unit, right? Like getting anyone's coins, yeah, you can reasonably expect to get a decent rate of return on coins. But getting one specific unit in the FP Gotcha's coins takes longer and longer and longer as time goes on. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So please understand. And chat, even for any reason other than this, if you haven't ever looked through it, like go look through it, because you'll find units like, say, a Rash where, yeah, maybe you actually want to lure the mana loading. Or maybe, chat, just maybe, you actually wouldn't mind his anti-rider append to allow him to be able to pop off a little bit more against a, like, rider early wave, where you say, like, oh, hey, maybe I could use him for that, okay? That's why I'm saying this to you. Some of these appends are actually really worth, and it doesn't really hurt anything for you to unlock all of them. You guys can see, looking at, like, you know, my 3 stars and lower here, there's definitely a lot of work done on them already, but they're at least unlocked. You don't have to level them, but please go through and look at them now that you have the opportunity before you end up using all of their coins and going, oh shit. Now, I'm going to flat out tell you, regardless of that, you need to pay attention to how many coins you have overall, because of exactly that issue that I talked about. That, hey, if you don't have enough and you put in halfway through and you can't reach it by the end of the month, you're dead. You're not going to be able to get the progress. I live on JP, so like it's January right now, chat. So imagine this for my JP account. I have like no coins on my JP account right now. I actually do because I gotcha, but pretend I didn't. That means I would have to go sit down and roll FP until I had enough coins to reach Grail casting. That's going to take several hours in most cases. This becomes really tedious. It's one of my biggest pet peeves on JP right now. Playing JP and having to roll out my FP every month to get my 2 Grails is tedious, annoying, and unfun. It is actually one of the worst things making me not want to play JP. Okay? Eventually, people will end up at that point, and part of the reason why is I still know that I have enough that I can do it, but eventually I will reach a point where I don't have any more FP remaining in the tank on JP, and I can't spend anymore. Once I get to that point, then I just have to let it go. But I have not missed a Grail casting yet on JP on that account. So a lot of that's coming from doing enough boxes in a lotto. And I do talk about this, that if you were to gain FP from like no other source throughout the year, and you wanted enough FP to be able to do all of your Grail castings throughout the year, you need to average about 1,100 boxes from lottos during that year. What does that mean? Well, assuming you get 2 lottos, that's going to end up being instead basically 550 boxes per lotto. But that's assuming you get FP from no other source. You're going to get FP from, again, like campaigns, from people using your units, you name it, okay? So there are various times that you will get FP. I'm going to say if you're doing 500, you're probably still A-okay, you will be good, you will subsist at that point. But you may even be able to get away with less, right? But that's if you want enough coins just from FP. Not including gacha, not including like any other way that you might get coins, like bonding and other stuff, okay? Now, again, keep in mind the logic for whose coins you should use. Again, I am very conservative when it comes to this. Other people are going to be, I'm just going to say, lunatics. If you look at your coins, you may determine, hey, you know what? I have like 1,000 of this 4 stars coins. Why don't I just use them? Here's why you shouldn't. There is a possibility that at some point in the future, they could always come out with either a new system that consumes coins or a 4th or a 5th append. You should absolutely not spend coins you can't get back easily. If that makes any sense to you. Don't spend any amount of coins you would have to gotcha for. FP rolls is one thing, but don't spend any coins for things that you would have to gotcha for. Don't spend any coins for a limited welfare that was given a one-off of coins. Because we don't know how a potential coin fix in the future would happen. We have no idea how available coins will be. So please, for now, play it safe. You will never regret playing it safe. You will only regret if spending the coins that you then later go like, oh man, I wish I had saved those. Okay? Even on units you hate, even on units you don't think you'll use, still probably safer. So my advice to you, okay? The only units that you should ever put coins in here for are permanent FP pool units. The exception to this is maybe going to be like a Nobukatsu, where you just had so many freaking coins and he was a low star on Rada that we know does return. Okay? But basically, it is 3-star and lower units that are permanent. That's your recipe for whose coins to put in here. You can probably put Lily and Habitrot's coins in here as well, because they are permanently available in the gacha. But please, only once you're done with however many coins you need for their like appends and such. Okay? That's the logic. That's how you guys will be able to make sure that you never spend a coin you don't want to. That being said, to show you the interface, this interface sucks. It is one of the worst in the entire game. This is also the other issue. Somehow, for the past 2 years on JP, I have managed to never accidentally consume the wrong coins. But it is very easy to do so. So be really, really, really careful. Because the only filter you have is by class. And the only sorting you have is by rarity or held. I recommend doing rarity, sort your like 1 stars and such to the bottom. The biggest thing that I wish they would give us for this, more than anything, is either a like permanent / story lock / limited filter, or just allow me to like lock someone's coin. That would be ideal. Okay? So again, come in here, set it to rarity. If you want, you can filter by class to make it a little clearer. And then basically, you guys are going to want to probably set it to ascending. I actually have no idea why it's doing it on this one. Oh, because smart sort's on. There we go. Make sure you don't have smart sort on if you guys have, certain things. But point being, again, doing it this way will sort it so that like there's my 1 star, there's my 3-star, 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 and 4 stars on down. Now be careful, right? Because you're gonna see units like Bedivere that are story locked that you really can't reasonably get more coins of appearing with your 3 stars. So you guys are gonna have to learn which units are story locked and which units aren't. Which units are limited and which units aren't. This is the worst thing that you will encounter in this process. Be very, 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 very careful how you handle this. Okay? Bedivere, you want mana loading on? Yep. So again, doing something like the Nobukatsu coins, absolutely possible. You guys can just go ahead and load it up. You guys can see even I have like 4,000 coins for him, even though I didn't do that much rolling. So I'm going to go ahead and do it, show you how it looks. Boom. There you go. And this is what you will see. This is what you will see if you try to like eat a unit's coins that are limited. It's gonna ask you, and you're gonna have to slide the slider, basically saying like, yeah, I'm totally okay with this. This is its warning to you, saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this. Okay, like I said, in Nobukatsu's case, it's pretty okay, but for other things, be careful, chat. That's all I'm gonna tell you. There you go. That's 2,000 coins. I made that look easy. And then out spits another Grail. It just looks ridiculous. It does. Okay. So you will not get that warning on units that you have like already done everything for. So I think we saw that I had already done all the David coins. I think we saw that I had, because like I need to actually go back through and look on mine. I think we saw that I had already done all of Billy the Crits coins, and then all of where is he? Where is Arash? All of Arash's coins. Okay. Now, the reason though that I'm going to point this out, and you can see once you're at 2,000, it grays everybody else out, so you know you're good. Actually, just so that we can still look at this interface here, let me remove Arash's. Because again, you guys got to be really careful because there are certain circumstances where, like, as you're going through, you may or may not see things that are limited. So, give you guys an idea right here, okay? In your sabers, Bedivere is absolutely a story locked item. Make sure you don't accidentally burn him. Again, though, keep in mind that Lily is someone that you will get repeated copies of from the FP rolling, so using her coins once you're done with her pins, definitely possible. For archers, Nobukatsu after a certain point is limited. I recommend, chat, if you're just trying to be on the safe side, at least saving like an extra like 240 coins for a unit like Nobukatsu. Do all of his pins, unlock them all, save 240 more beyond that. Why? You never know. That may be your fourth and your fifth append at 120 each. So that's why I'm saying that. But yeah, just to give you again this brief rundown here as to who is limited, who you need to be careful of. There should be nobody as of yet in the archer category, I believe. Lancer here. Aiga, be very careful of her. And I may miss one because I may not have any coins for one of them if I've spent them all. Columbus, obviously. Again, what's his face here? Red hair. Both of them are ones to watch out for in the rider category. Caster's got a bunch, chat. So, man whose name escapes me. Wacky Waving Tentacle Man. Gilderay. There we go. Gilderay, Caster Coup, Asclepius. All three of them are story locked. Assassin has a couple. Or at least one. Assassin has Ezo. Ezo is limited, not even story locked, so makes it a little bit harder. Bunyan is a welfare. Be careful with that one. Mori is limited as well. He's from the Gouda event. So again, be very, very careful with that. Extra class, chat. For now, there is no one permanent in the extra class that is 3-star and lower that you can do. So Salieri, be careful of his coins. Here's my logic behind Angry Mango. Angry Mango is so rare, but also so crap. So like at the end of the day, you can choose how you want to handle his coins. I unlocked all of his appends just to have it done with. If you want to sit in that and save for more, you can, or you can go ahead and use them. You can technically always get more copies of him, but it's very few and far between, as he is the rarest unit in the FP gacha by far. So it's kind of a, you know, choice you'll have to make for yourself as to how you value his coins. But again, that's why I'm saying that. So I'm going to go ahead now at this point and complete the Arash coins. Later on, you will get Shufu from the special class there. Filter, he will be an option, or sorry, she will be an option for a permanent special class that you can use coins for. All right, chat, any questions? Is Cad telling me not to use my Taiga coins? Yes, I'm saying don't use Story Locker limited coins because you ain't getting them back easy. They can order the coins by the amount of coins they have. Yes, that you can do. I'm just going to tell you, chat, the reason why I say don't do that is because I don't think you should be spending 4 and 5 star coins that you can't easily get back. You never know. There may be a gimmick later on down the line for them. So some people would. What do you say to all the people that stupidly never use coins on appends? I have a bunch of people still on my friends list that haven't touched appends, even with an MP5 servant. It's like, what the fuck? What do I say to them? They should absolutely be using their appends. They're just throwing away a free, like, capability. Like, Chad, it would be like saying, like, I'm just not going to level my 3rd skill type deal, right? Like, I don't get it. It's illogical. So people cannot do it if they don't want to, but it's just throwing away something that they could be using to make their account stronger. I think I have coins for next month and then I forget about it. I mean, you could always roll out FP, right? Like, chat, just roll out any number of your 28 million FP. Like I said, I have issues at this point, but it is what it is. I can absolutely tell you how to handle your stuff, but I will fully admit that I am lazy. So, any questions? Any more on Grail casting? Because we got to get the Koyami. I have 1/10 of that. It's okay. That is an amount that I have hoarded basically at this point. How much FP would you say you roll a month? On JP or on NA? JP, it's anywhere, it's usually around in like the 2 million range. NA is like, only if I feel like it. Which is very rare. Will Mary Anning have the same coin rate as Nobukatsu? Yes. Yes, Mary Anning will be handled the exact same way. Although, to date, I think... Wait, chat, did Mary Anning just come back on JP finally? Like, wasn't she in the FP gacha? Yeah. I was gonna say, because, like... Prior to that, we hadn't had another banner for her, and people were wondering when she was gonna come back. Nemo Christmas, yeah. Okay. Alright, chat. Let's do... I don't know why this is not refreshing. Then I have a link to... Yeah, if you guys go to my video on Grail casting, I have a spreadsheet in the description of that tells you... It's a calculation of, like, here's how much FP on average you will need per Grail. And, like, here's how much... You know, like all the calculations, like how many boxes you would need to do per year and everything like that. So, I forgot, is the bunny event this year? Yes. The new Mystic Code? What, you want me to go over the new Mystic Code? Okay, the new Mystic Code, chat. right here. Okay, it is just as expensive as Atlas. Sorry, not Atlas. Arctic, as Arctic Mystic Coat is. They're the two most expensive Mystic Coats in the game. However, unlike Arctic, because it's a plug suit variant, basically it gives you order change just like the normal plug suit does. It will not take you nearly as long to level because you're going to have to use some sort of plug suit for a lot of fights. As a result, it's like I said, if it's your last one, feel free to go for it, but you don't need to like try to fast track it. It's a Mystic Code that will level on its own because you'll just keep having to use it very often. It's different from the original because it gives attack up and NP damage up. It's very decent scaling in that regard. Basically, it will outscale the original plug suit for damage capability because the original plug suit only gives 30% in attack up. This will give a combined 40% here between the two, and obviously because it's actually 20 times 20 due to the multiplicative nature of it being two different buffs, it'll scale even better than that. However, there's certainly something to be said about breakpoints on this one. For instance, level 1 versus level 10, where you get only 10% versus level 20%. Here's the logic. If you end up at a certain point not having Oberon in your comp, then I believe the break-even point is somewhere around level 5, where finally it will actually either be even or exceed an original plug suit in terms of its combat capability. However, if you have Oberon in the comp, it will exceed the original plug suit's capability already at level 1. Savvy? The only other thing you gotta focus on here is frontline recovery, which is different from the stun, the gander that you had on the other plug suit. So instead of having the stun that you guys know and love and are used to, you now will instead have a heal that has a chance to remove only offensive debuffs on the unit. So sadly, not defensive debuffs or anything like that. It's not going to remove stun. It's not going to remove like a lot of negative effects, but it will remove anything trying to limit your offensive capability, including and most especially attack or card type down, which can be really, really useful to you. And then order change is the exact same as it is on plug suit. How do we get this Mystic Code? You must complete the Tunguska Epilogue in order to get it. It is rewarded for that. Same thing with Grail casting. If you're not caught up, you can't get it yet. And if you are caught up, you should have both this and Grail casting. They are meant to be sort of rewards for completing story. I was reading, which is 90++. Nah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk Koyami here. There you go, chat, by the way, what the other C's do. But like I said, first drawing is the only one that's actually worth. Oh, right. Yeah. She has invuln pierce. I don't know what I was thinking here. So I don't have to recommend a lot of stuff for her, thank God. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that you can get the Tunguska epilogue even if you did not do the Tunguska event. Yes, because once the event expires, you can't do it anymore. But the epilogue should still be there for people. How often have I used the second skill? It's more like ask me how often I've used Koyan Sky of Dark. Because I actually do use the second skill when I use her. Is there a time limit for that command code? For the New Year's one? Yeah. Yeah, you have until the missions expire. Okay. Yep. Yeah, okay. Sorry, chat. I had to like sit there and think about something real quick there. Okay. I'm actually, like, this is an easy one to set up for and do. It's a much harder one to explain. So, real quick, let me make sure I actually have drink. Because with all the talking I've done today, I've been resisting the urge to, like, cough constantly. But okay. Hey, guys. No. Wait, yeah, I did set it to the right screen. Okay. Sorry, I had to double check because I had that that thought that I wasn't on the right place. Hey guys, my name's Khadroth, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Koyami, aka Koyanskaya of Darkness. This is Koyanskaya's alter form, if you will. It's the second version of her that we'll be getting here on NA, and she came to JP at the time when, again, Pity came out, so as of this point onward, you guys can rest assured that basically NA will be at the same sort of banner structure as JP had, and nothing will have to be different, so we won't have to make any sort of points to that degree. Again, though, Koyanskaya of Darkness has been a very interesting unit since she came out. I've seen a lot of people clamoring for her to get buffed, especially in light of Kukulkan coming into the game and being very strong. I've seen a lot of people that think that she's not that good, but I think they're probably missing the forest for the trees, as Koyanskaya of Darkness is a very capable unit. She is someone that I would consider to be a little bit more niche. That is, I don't consider her to actually be a true meta support unit. But she is a support unit, and I'm going to explain why. And she is going to be a very interesting unit to be able to use in sort of multi-damage dealer setups, because she can really enable a party. So, the issue with Koyanskaya of Darkness is that, again, she is a limited unit. She's here at New Year's, then she probably won't get another banner until next New Year's on NA. So, you either roll her here or you don't get her at all. But, let's go ahead and take a look at our newest AoE Buster Foreigner. So, Koyami, again, as I like to call her, has about 11k attack. This is not the best attack. It's certainly on the lower end of 5 stars. Definitely something to be a little bit concerned about. And again, it has been a source of contention for people clamoring for her to get that buff. But again, I think don't look at her as a solely devoted damage dealer, and you're probably going to be fine. That being said, there are certain circumstances that you can use her as that, It's just you have to be aware of her kit and what her capabilities are. She does, however, get the trade-off of having quite thick HP, and this is certainly to her benefit, as she will in some degree have some challenge capability, so having more HP is going to be a little bit more valuable there for kind of keeping her alive and able to have her take a little bit more of a beating. She is a rare beast attribute unit. Again, this should be pretty obvious due to the Tunguska event, but obviously beast is not part of the normal triangle of attribute units. Thus, it kind of stands outside, and there's not going to be too much that's actually effective against it, which is good for her. She does have 153 star absorption, a little bit higher than average for foreigners, but still pretty much a higher than most other classes type of star absorption. She does have 14.8 star generation rate, definitely solid for her, especially as a buster unit. And she does have NP charge attack of only 0.67, which is higher than average, but not, the best or anything out there. Her NP charge defense here is only 3%, and she is chaotic evil alignment, but again, nothing too much crazy there, other than you will get some nice synergy with units like, say, Doman or Moriarty that maybe give enhancements to units that are chaotic or evil. Certainly here, you guys can see she is female, and she does have a 6% death rate. This is actually something to make note of because it does mean that it's relatively low, and thus she will not be an easy unit to proc death on. That being said, you are going to be still wanting to be careful because of the way her kit works, but again, we'll get in there. For her basic traits here, she is animal characteristic, demonic, demonic beast servant, divine, existence outside the domain like a normal foreigner would be, humanoid, non-hominide, servant, and weak to intimate elish, as well as wild beast, another rare one. So, her deck here is comprised of double buster, double arts, and singular quick. It's actually fairly good for her as it gives her the 2 arts cards to help with NP generation on that. Again, her hit counts here are all average, with the exception being the arts card there at 4 hits being a little bit over average. But having the double buster cards here does mean she can form the triple buster chain with her NP, so definitely have the capability to have a really strong, powerful turn if all the stars align for you. And certainly with the arts cards there, as we talked about, have some capability of getting back to an NP with a just sort of nice, decent NP charge rate. Talking about her kit now, you guys can see her first one here is Dominator Fox. It increases the party's buster performance for 3 turns by 30%. So this is a party-wide buff of 30% for 3 turns. It's also going to charge the party's NP gauge by 30% for 3 turns, and this is probably her best thing that she does as a support. She is, and the way I want you to think about this is as just sort of a interesting type of buster version type unit, similar to the way Castoria handles party charge. Part of what makes Castoria so strong, and it's certainly not the only thing, but especially in farming applications, is that ability to charge the entire party by 30%. I think the devs looked at Buster and said, hey, maybe we should give that to them, and Koyanskaya is what they came up with, as she ends up having that capability. And this actually allows for quite a bit of interesting sort of comp structures. Either you can use this to get herself to full from a 50% starting charge C and a max mana loading append, or you could maybe use this to get someone else to full with the same circumstances, or maybe it's just part of a bigger picture of combining multiple supports and multiple charge skills to having everybody start from 0. I'll make a case for that a little bit here in a bit. But again, this is a very strong skill just for this alone, and this is definitely the skill you're going to want to lure on her. She reduces the critical star absorption of Hominide allies by 100% for 1 turn. This is somewhat annoying, as most units in the game are Hominide. This is basically human-esque servants that were at one point human or are human themselves. But again, it's not going to apply to herself, as she is non-Hominide. So therefore, her and a lot of the other demonic beast servants like her will be able to soak all the stars when you use this skill with her in the party. However, that's just going to be an issue of maybe that's not who you wanted to soak the stars. So again, it's just going to depend. Pay close attention to this little kind of like known aspect of her kit. This is all on a 6-turn cooldown, which is rather good because remember, this is a Koyanskaya we're dealing with. She is Buster, and that means you can pair her with Koyanskaya of Light, thus being able to reduce cooldowns. So yes, you would be able to get back to the skill in a 3-turn sequence, which means 2 applications potentially for the party to get 30% charge, therefore making it able to be 60% right there. Definitely a nice amount of party charge over 3 turns, and could certainly allow multiple units to maybe NP on a final wave rather than just one. Her second skill here is one of the reasons that I call her niche. It's Slaughter Beast Troop, and it gives overcharge to one ally by 2 stages 1 time for 3 turns. So what this means is that it's going to overcharge their NP and make whatever their overcharge effect is even better. This can be really useful not only just on Koyami herself, as she has an Earth super effective niche on her NP, but this can also be used on other people to allow them to hit harder, to be able to charge more after their NP, or whatever, depending on what their overcharge is. This is actually really interesting as well if you use this on a unit like, say, Koyanskaya. And by that I mean Koyanskaya of Light. Koyanskaya of Light has an overcharge on her NP that after she NPs will charge the party by 10%. But since we know this will overcharge by 2 more stages, this would mean giving the entire party 20%. So you can actually end up using this skill from Koyami on Koyanskaya of Light, and then in combination with Koyami's 30% skill, this will give Koyanskaya of Light also 20% to the rest of the party, making it functionally 50% party charge at that point. So there's quite a bit of interesting applications that you can do to be able to get more charge out of this, or again, more damage. That's going to be how a lot of people are going to want to utilize this. And yes, as chat's indicating, this could be very useful on units like, say, a Rash that have a very super effective sort of overcharge mechanic for their damage. This is then also going to grant them an on-buff attack activate buff for 3 turns that they will gain 5 critical stars when normal attacking with their Buster cards. So where Koyanskaya of Light gives an effect that whenever you attack with the Buster cards, you gain 10% NP gauge, Koyami instead grants 5 stars. So she doesn't have the Star Bomb, but instead she gives stars via attacks this way. It's also going to increase the attack of animal characteristics, servants, and allies for 3 turns, as well as their defense by up to 30%. This may be a candidate for you to lure depending on that. You don't have to lure this skill, but also the fact that it is on a 7-turn cooldown will make this very difficult to get back to in a normal 3-turn cadence without some sort of, again, additional way of reducing cooldowns like, say, the Atlas Mystic Code, or again, somebody else that has a cooldown reduction skill beyond just double Koyanskaya. Again, though, this can be really useful for a unit that has animal characteristics. The issue at play, though, is that there's not a lot of them, and sometimes it's somewhat arbitrary. You have units in here like, say, Bunny Artoria that have it by virtue of her just being in a bunny suit, and units that are outright an actual dinosaur like Kyo. So at the end of the day, or Kyo, at the end of the day, it's really kind of arbitrary how they pick some of these units. You will see there are some units that just don't appear here, and there are some units that should, and then there are some units that appear here that maybe probably shouldn't. So it just really depends. But again, keep that in mind. You may need to have them in the right sort of outfit or something like that just to have this apply, but it is an issue at play. Again, though, as long as you know who you're using in the party, this may be a very effective damage amplifying tool. And so, because of this aspect, because of the animal characteristics niche here, and because of overcharge not necessarily being effective on every unit that you try to use it on, this is partially what's going to make Koyanskaya of Dark a little bit more of a niche support. That is to say, not every unit you would want to use her with will actually be that viable, And so as a result, maybe the only benefit you would be getting then is this first skill, which is nice, but not super overpowered. Again, then we get to the third skill here. And the third skill ends up being self-ignore invincibility for 3 turns. So she's not going to need any source of invincibility pierce from anything else, as she'll be able to bring it with her third skill. It's also going to increase her own critical damage for 3 turns by up to 50%, making her definitely, as you've already probably noticed at this point, a little bit more carding oriented for a unit. She's then going to also grant herself a debuff on attack buff for 3 turns. So every time she attacks, she will, over the next 3 turns, every time she attacks, she will debuff the enemy, basically giving them a poison, curse, and burn status for 3 turns, and then also inflicting toxic, evil curse, and spread fire status, which is the enhancement to each one of these original 3 effects for 3 turns to them. So not only will she apply the debuff, she will also apply a debuff that enhances the amount of damage that they do. And it will increase the ailment damage on them, basically, is what it's trying to tell you. So again, you guys can see the base amount right here, even at rank 10 of the skill, would be 500 for each of those ailments. That is nice because it applies all 3 rather than just 1. So you're looking at about 1500 damage. But then again, you can enhance this by up to 100%. So this can make her really good either for herself and being able to stack dots on enemies, or for being able to combine with somebody else. It's a very dot-centric unit that has a lot of dot damage in their kit. You could use Koyami to be able to enhance their dot damage even more, because again, this will just apply to the enemy, free to be able to enhance any source of this damage from any other source. So again, this is another reason that she can be somewhat of a niche support. So she's not bad, but she does have some certain niche uses. This one is also on a 6-turn cooldown, so you could get back to it in a 3-turn, but you probably don't care too much about it in a 3-turn, given the fact that the only skill that you would probably need at that point would be the ignore invincibility for that. But again, it is interesting, and this would allow you to use her with something like, say, Honey Lake, since she can bring burn on her own. For her passive skills, she has existence outside the domain, as we already indicated. It's only C rank, so she does get a little bit of debuff resistance and stars per turn. She has a unique passive here called NFF Service EX that increases her own damage against wild beast enemies by 20%. So she does have another damage niche beyond just her earth niche that we already talked about. This is just kind of hidden away in her passives. She increases her own arts performance by 5%, kind of helping out that card gen there, and increases her own debuff success rate by 10%, helping all of this to actually go. And then again, she does have Nega Self here, allowing her to debuff on attack, allowing her to have a 20% chance to inflict buff block for 1 time over 3 turns to wild beast enemies. This is another sort of niche use of her. She will be better against anyone classified as wild beast. So definitely another interesting use for her. With regards to her append skills, I absolutely must recommend mana loading first. This is critical to her, given the fact that she is a 30% support. You don't necessarily have to get it right away, but it will absolutely enhance your capability to use her with different various starting charge amounts and in better comps, just depending. So I highly recommend getting the mana loading unlocked and then lowering it for that to kind of make her at a 50% sort of starting charge between her first skill and the mana loading. Her third append here is anti-ruler attack damage aptitude. This isn't the worst, but she is a foreigner, so it is what it is. We don't encounter rulers too often, and then for her to really care, it'd probably need to be an earth-traded ruler. So there should be someone out there that works against, but again, this is probably not the best use of your coins early on. I would actually instead probably go with her extra attack finesse, given the fact that she has a little bit somewhat of a carding and challenge oriented kit with that second and third skill. That would be better to me for her second append for you guys. For her Noble Phantasm here, it is a 5-hit AoE buster. It increases her own attack by 20% for 1 turn, activating first, then deals damage to all enemies, then removes their offensive buffs. Now, this isn't going to stop you from being able to deal damage to people or anything like that, but it is going to, again, be pretty nice to be able to, like, remove, say, Invuln Pierce on enemies, or again, any sort of annoying like crit buffs or card type up buffs, anything that would really allow them to pop off. From there, it's going to then reduce their buster resistance by 20% for 3 turns after the damage has gone out. Meaning if you're NPing against the same enemy over and over again, this will be nice, but it's not going to necessarily, apply to the NP itself. However, again, if you get to that second NP against the same set of enemies, there you go, that second NP will be strong. From there, she's also going to deal extra damage to enemies with the Earth attribute. This, as we talked about, is a super effective niche, and with her second skill can be increased up to 175% super effectiveness. So definitely a strong sort of modifier for her. This is, to me, if you're going to use her as a devoted damage dealer, you're going to look for Earth enemies. You're going to look for, again, wild beast enemies, units like that fall under one of her niches that will help out her damage. Since, again, her damage is not going to be the highest. It's not going to be the best. But to me, where I really see Koyami of Darkness getting used a lot in farming comps is going to end up being as sort of the support to an additional set of either other supports that have offensive NPs, like say Oberon or Koyami of Light, or maybe as somebody that's allowing other units with 50% charge Cs to get to their NP. In those scenarios, it may be that you're going to see Koyami of Darkness take out wave 1 of a farming node, being able to kind of handle that. This is why I talked about why I rolled NP2 of her. You certainly don't have to, but it will increase the amount of nodes that you're going to be able to handle with that first wave. Having that second NP level on a unit that may be dealing neutral damage can often help out for that. But again, obviously, if you're going up against something like Berserkers, that's going to be right in her wheelhouse, and something that I think you guys will definitely want to keep your eye out for. But that's where I really see her being strong. Being able to utilize her as either part of a multi-damage dealer setup, or again, some sort of devoted unit against basically, something within her niche. But again, like we talked about, there are other scenarios that you can use her in, certainly in challenge scenarios, enhancing the ability to deal ailment damage and such. So it really just depends. I think she's a very interesting and fun unit in that regard, and something that you guys should try to mess around with and see what you can manage to pull off. And again, talking to you guys about some of those setups, like I mentioned, you could combine that overcharge skill with Koyami of Light to get 20% charge. You could end up doing some sort of like double Oberon comp with her. There are numerous ways that you can do things to even be able to start her from 0, not just, again, a 50% starting charge C. And so as a result of that, one of my recommendations for craft essences is going to end up being Black Grail. If you find yourself in that situation, having multiple Black Grails to use on your units would be amazing. It's going to help make up for the lack of maybe having other supports in the comp, especially if you're doing one of those comps like I talked about, where maybe it's like, say, Morgan Le Fay in the comp as well that has the capability to charge herself 50% charge already. Or maybe you're using someone down the line like, say, Arcuine. Never know. There's just various ways that you can manage to make certain things work. But again, having multiple Black Grails can work for you. It doesn't have to be that, though. You can certainly try using stuff like Rising Mud Rain that gives overcharge itself later on when it comes out, or even things like Heaven's Feel or Angel's Song or any other of the lower rarity variants of all NP damage Cs. Again, coming down the line here, you guys will get Cranking. This is going to be a welfare CE from the Paul Bunyan event. This is going to be really nice for us because it's all attack scaling. It's starting charge of 50%, NP damage of 15, buster performance of 8%. Really a solid CE. But in the interim, you guys are still going to have something like Aerial Drive that you should have from this prior Halloween. That's going to give you all attack stat. And again, 50% starting charge, 10% NP damage, but 10% buster performance. So again, a little bit more buster performance here, but a little bit less in the NP damage performance. And then, even on her own, Banner, first drawing is not a bad pickup for you guys. It is, again, all attack scaling, starting charge of 50 at MLB, buster performance by an additional 10%, and then 10 critical stars when entering the field. This could be used in a scenario where maybe somebody is going to rotate in, maybe herself included, or again, just maybe you end up putting this on her to allow her to get that 50% starting charge at the outset. Now, as we start looking into damage numbers here, please keep in mind what I was talking about before. That is to say that we certainly have newer units that have come out on JP that are doing crazy amounts of damage. This is, I think, a contentious topic in general, but it's just a topic that we kind of have to deal with as we go forward because the JP devs have decided to make units a lot stronger as we move on, but maybe haven't ended up buffing some of the back end. Do I think Koyan Sky of Darkness needs a buff? I think you certainly could buff her, but I don't think she necessarily has to get one at the current moment if you're utilizing her mostly in a support capability. I think it's the damage argument is where we come into play with being able to argue for more buffs, but again, it just really depends on how you view things and whether or not it ends up as a zero-sum game about damage or the holistic look at the unit as a whole. So again, taking a look at this, you can see Koyan Sky of Dark actually rides pretty high on the pine here. She appears to be over Kukulkan, but this is, again, neutral numbers, and it's a unit under their own power with their own buffs, not considering any sort of external factors like other support units buffing them, mystic codes, or again, what craft essence they may be able to start with. So having a unit like Kukulkan that may be able to start with like a good 50% C, but just has some insane damage scaling, usually that's why this can be a little bit confusing, but it's always nice to at least be able to see that, like, yeah, hey, at least on paper, certain things might be pretty good. Again, you can see she does have the Wild Beast and Earth attributes, which can also be combined, giving her a little bit more damage there. But again, you do have some pretty crazy stuff, pretty crazy stuff here with Kukulkan that allows for some pretty nasty damage there as well. This is where a lot of this stuff ends up coming into play. So let's talk actual damage numbers if you're going to use her as a devoted damage dealer. Because again, this is where comp structure gets a little odd. You can form a triple Koyan sort of comp with her, and you can even use Plug Suit and include Oberon. So that's where if you're going to try to get the most out of her, you're probably going to be able to get a lot. As a result, looking at this, basically Koyan of Dark with 2 times Koyan of Lights, with an Oberon, a level 100 cranking, a Neo Plug Suit, a lot of charge, a lot of buffs flying around, and a lot of damage. At NP1, you'd be looking at 60k neutral, obviously, on Wave 1, 60k on Wave 2, and then with Oberon's buffs coming in there, 182, almost 183k by Wave 3. So definitely some decent capability. Wild Beast will enhance this up to 70k, 70k, and 198k. And Earth Attribute, which is super effective, will enhance this to 105, 90, and then 274 right there. The big thing at play, though, is going to end up being if you can manage to combine those. I'm not going to bother with that because there will be some circumstances that you could, but again, it's niche enough. Now, let's compare that to then, say, Summer Abbey. Summer Abbey is a unit that can be used with, again, double Koyan, Oberon, and cranking. So at that point, you're looking at about 83k on Wave 1 for her, but only 54k on Wave 2. And then 238k basically by Wave 3. So kind of a little bit of a roller coaster with Summer Abbey. And then with Kukulkan, it just kind of constantly gets stronger. This is 83k basically for Wave 1, 134k for Wave 2, and then a staggering 394, almost 395k for Wave 3. And that's also using a level 100 cranking. This is where some of the complaints come in about capability. And again, given the fact that Kukulkan has a targetable 50% charge skill, it is kind of nuts how strong she is. This is sort of the issue that we run into. But again, please don't look at Koyanskaya of Darkness as from only a damage perspective, because the way she is really going to see a lot of value for you guys is in how you apply the first and second skills in particular. Being able to utilize those effectively being able to utilize her in different comps that maybe don't only benefit her, but also the units around her, will allow you to utilize her really smartly and, again, effectively, as we said. So that, to me, is the takeaway here. Try to focus on the good of Koyan Sky of Darkness, and I think you'll see that she can actually be a decently capable unit for you. She can definitely help you in sort of minimalist farming comps, and certainly in challenge combat if you manage to take her in there. So let me know what you guys think of Koyan Sky of Darkness, and whether or not you think she needs a buff, as well as whether, or actually, I'll say this, which Ascension form you find to be her favorite. I'll be curious to read that one as we go, and I will see you guys for the next one. Have a happy new year. Okay. Oh, chat, my congestion the whole time. Easily the weakest part of Koyan Sky of Dark. Yeah, and that's to me like the biggest thing. Also, hello, plushie. Like, I want people to not focus purely on the damage that Koyan Sky of Darkness does. In the same way, chat, that it would be duplicitous to talk about the damage that Koyan Sky of Light or Oberon do, and focus only on that. There is so much more to the unit than just, hey, I do some damage, right? It's like, that's what's so strong about your support units in general. It's, you know, to a degree, I can also say this. It's like focusing purely on the amount of damage that Nero Bride does. Nero Bride can be used as a damage dealer. But at the same time, Nero Bride also has some really good support stuff for kind of being a substitute for a Scotty or a Castoria insert. Kimba, thank you for the gift sub. Second Ascension, it's not even close. Third Ascension for me. But again, I think it's a really interesting unit to debate the Ascensions, because they're so different. You basically have like hot, like almost like a cocktail waitress slash office worker. Then you have fetishist circus leader, and then like absolutely dressed like a yandere goddess coming to kill you, but like kind of like bipolar cute yandere personality. Have developers ever buffed HP and attack stats, or just skills and NP? Developers have never buffed HP or attack, to my knowledge. They have buffed the NP gain rate of units. The Ringleader outfit makes me think Britney Spears song. My Arctic is still not leveled? Oh my god. Did analysis just start? It did. Just got done with Koyan Sky. Do you know what's up with us not getting the half off AP nodes? I don't. The only thing that I can assume is that it's because we got it, I believe, at Thanksgiving. So it's probably them not wanting to let us double dip. Gotta have, because great design. Yeah. Chat, let me see real quick here. We gotta like... Since we must spin down on an A. Oh god, hold on. I still gotta handle the rest of my CEs here. Gotta keep at least one copy MLB. Is your mic a bit further away? Yes, because I put my drink glass in front of me thinking it was my mic. So yeah, here you go. I literally slid the mic over like it was my drink glass, and then put my drink glass in front of me. Yeah, I was talking to my drink. Definitely not among servants that need a buff. I think you could buff her. Like if they were to come through Plushie and give her an NP interlude, I don't think anyone would scream, right? Like, I think it just is what it is. I think she'd be strong if they did that, but I don't think anyone would be like, oh my god, why did they buff Koyan Sky of Dark? Especially now at this point, since they have gone back and like given Voyager attention. I think like Voyager's in a much better place than he used to be. If it happens, you can take credit for it. Yeah. But again, I don't know. You guys know me. I've talked about this before. Like, I'm very much of the opinion that like the JP devs are just falling behind on buffing units. Like, we're getting way too many units that are getting like left behind nowadays, and so as a result, I feel like they. Wait, what? Oh, that's wild. Okay. So as a result, I feel like they just really need to like start buffing more people. I think that's kind of the problem. Is basically as we start coming out with units like Kukulkan, Tiamat, like even going back to like Melisum, right? Like, you have units that are hitting just way harder than everybody else. Part of that's the ability to touch Black Grail with Oberon. But, like, to me, it's like, yeah, you still gotta start making some of your other, like, 4 stars and 5 stars more viable, especially. And even then, like, we've talked about this, it's, to me, like, you start looking at 90++ content, and it's like, yeah, have fun trying to do that with, like, a 3-star, right? Like, I'm not gonna say that you can't find uses for them every now and then, but, like, it really feels like the difficulty and HP values of the content is beginning to actually just like kind of outscale the lower rarity units, and I think that's a problem. And I think it's beginning to creep up into 4-star and 5-star territory, where like, you know, some of your 5 stars that haven't received any love are like they can't do it, and that's kind of not a good position to be in, especially like you want to run a banner for the unit and get people to roll for them, but like they haven't gotten any love. That's why I think they have an issue over time. They just need to start paying a little bit more attention to them. Okay, I already have ammo with that. I already have ammo with that. Give that. Wait, chat. This was Sunny Day was good to 5, wasn't it? Like, I don't need to do that one again. Yep. Yeah, Kukulkan to me is like, what would happen if you gave a Skandar 50% charge? You would just start seeing some dumb numbers. Like, you just, when you have that many steroids flying around, it happens. I don't even think with 10 buffs a month, every month, they'd be able to tend to all units that need it at most. There's just so many that need help. Yeah, I agree with that. I think if they at least started doing stuff like that, that would help, right? If you just had like monthly buffs. Honestly, that would be one of the best things for the community. Like, can you imagine if we had like, here are 10 buffs this month, and we just get to like talk about that and be like, wow, how does this change things? Oh, this is super exciting what they did with this guy now. Like, oh, I wish they would do that. That would be so awesome. Like, Cuckoo demolishes about 80% of the game. Yeah. I do think, though, you run into a bit of an issue where if they start giving too many buffs, then the power creep starts getting even worse. And that's, I think, the thing they're concerned about. But it's like, you do no buffs, and then you release a new unit that's like 30% stronger, and it's like, well, if you were trying not to cause power creep, you just did, type deal. They still kind of took that out. I know. I really wish they would go back to doing some of this stuff. It, like, I think that more than anything is like, over time, it's like all the little things not being here anymore are what's basically like killing a lot of interest in the game. And it's, to me, what I see, chat, I don't see like FGO struggling at all. I just see like this slowly pervasive, like, creeping lack of interest from people that like they kind of get set in their ways, and they just like put the game kind of like to the side and say like, oh, I'm set in FGO, I don't have to do anything anymore. Like, and I think it's not that they don't want to. I think they like FGO. I think it's just that they're kind of bored with FGO because FGO's not doing much anymore. Also because they got that manpower shortage. Yeah, I mean, we assume, right? Like, we still don't know. We have no idea what happens behind the scenes. I always want to remind you guys that like the manpower shortage thing is a theory of mine. based off of like everything that they have said and done. But we don't actually know. Until they actually talk about it, we won't know. Right? Like that's the problem. I just want animation updates for the older units. I think that's one of the most telling reasons that there's a shortage. Like it's wild to me that like they haven't hired new animators and stuff. Like I will say this. Like I saw on Twitter the fucking meme of the girl from Nikkei like jerking off her mic. But like in actuality, if you guys saw the whole picture, the whole animation of that, I'm like, it is just very stunning quality. And I look at that and I'm just like, man, that would be awesome if FGO had that. Like, I really feel like that would be like a huge turning point for FGO in terms of like community consciousness. And it would make people be like, whoa, FGO has live 2D. FGO, wow. Like, I actually think that would get a lot more hype for the game. I think they have how much staff they have on La Single. Yeah, like, we kind of know. We also kind of know that they have just, like, a standing open hiring, like thing for, like, any status, so. Like I said, to me, I treat it like a theory just so that we don't, like, assume it to be the case, because the second we start assuming is the second, like, we're probably screwed. Okay, anyways, I think I've done everything here now, chat. So now, because there is no half cost or anything, I got nothing I can do. So we're going back into Oxford. But I can run a very Koyan-specific version. So, let me think about how to handle this. It won't matter. I'll just, I will just do a setup. You know what? I'll just change my current setup. How many bombs are needed for level 100? If you're doing the 1-star bombs, it's 8. If you're doing 2-star, it's 6. Okay. Do I have an AoE that I have a max loaded append for, but no charge? No, it's not maxed. His maybe, but it shouldn't be. Yeah, I was gonna say. Usually I don't do it to units that don't have charge. Unless they're like a loop or some sort, which is why I checked Atalanta. Well, okay then. Here, let me see. I have it maxed on her. Gil should be. This is a total waste. Gil should be. So we'll just imagine Gil as if he had no charge, chat. And we'll actually take the damage carry. So what I want to do right now. Thank you, Plushy. Appreciate it. Thank you for the bits. Happy New Year's to you too. Hope you have a good one. Okay, and then Gil, I don't think it's gonna matter. Here you go, Gil. Okay, so chat. check it. Yeah, and my Mystic Code doesn't matter for this. So this is kind of like what I'm talking about when I say like doing a multi-damage dealer type setup. And you're probably like, what the hell, Cad? What are you doing? But don't worry about it. Recently finished 120ing my Pengu Melt. Nice. Okay, so again, right here, right off the bat, chat, you can see everybody has 70%. Even Arash and Gil have 30% charge. I don't have to use them. So, like, just imagine if they were units that didn't have it, okay? Boom. They're full. They each have Buster Up, too. So, really, really good right there. But because it's an early wave of Berserkers, this is going to make it really easy for Koyami to just do her thing. She's going to have buffed everybody else and take out the first wave here. Pretty awesome. Okay. And then, you know what? Screw it. I could have done that, but I didn't. Gil, this is a total waste, but I'm just doing it for demonstrative purposes. Gil's just going to take out the wave here. There's nobody that's a servant, so he's just going to do what he's going to do. This is going to fry my phone. Inaba leash. Okay. And then we get to the actual damage carry here, Arash. And we're going to go ahead and give Arash the overcharge buff. Okay. Go ahead and give him a Mystic Code buff as well. And we're so confident in this, chat, we're going to send it. We're going to send it. Behold. Okay. So, you look at Arash, chat. Arash is the 5-star now. Okay? You've been disrespecting him all these years. But Arash is now the carry. Like, he literally turned to Gilgamesh and he was like, you look at me. I'm the carry now. So, that's an example of what I mean. Now, imagine that in a lotto. Right, chat? Like, you don't have to have even charging units to pull something like that off. So, that's where that sort of thing's kind of crazy. Okay? And it don't have to stop from there. Always has been? Yeah. You know what? Is that the Mystic Code one? No, it's Master. Chat. Come on. What if? What if, chat? Okay. So, we've got 30. He's got 20 from his append, and he's got 30 himself. That's 80 right there. Okay. Now, chat. Boom. Okay. But here's the thing. He's got 20 for everybody. So that means she's got 20, 20, and 30. So she's now sitting there at 70. He's got 50% charge himself, plus his maxed, mana loading, because I've already done it. That means he's basically sitting at 70 plus 20. So he's at 90 already right there. So this is getting kind of wild and kind of hilarious for what can be done. Wait, do I only have the level 100 Black Grail ones? I thought I did a second one. I'll have to... Oh, yeah, okay, I did. I was like, man, I really could have sworn I did a second level 100 Black Grail. Maybe I'll do a third at some point. But the point being, yeah, I can do some crazy stuff here. Okay, so she's already at 70%. Sadly, there's not a way that I can really stretch that more, but it really don't matter too much. She gets Buster Up, so we'll just give her aerial drive. wherever the hell it went. Right there. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it on. It's not gonna matter. But chat, oh wait, will it? Wait. Wait. Yes, he's got 70 as well. Hilariously enough, I could do like double Koyami here. Double Koyami would work. No, I actually need to do this then. Now you wait to get 4 more for MLB? Oh no, I have it, chat. Hello, Peaceful. I hope this year is better than 2023. I do too. Make this year one worth remembering. Yep. Thank you for the 38 and Happy New Year to you, bud. Okay, so chat. Wait, do I have MP2 Oberon? Yeah, I do. Okay. So if that's the case, then bonk. And I don't care anymore, because he's going to drain himself 20%, but it's just not going to matter. If you put Castoria in the front line and swap her for a Rash, you can start Koyami for 0. I could. But I'm trying to show you guys that, like, this can be done without Plug Suit. This can be done without, like, anything else, okay? So y'all see, there you go. Oberon drained himself 20% and is still full. Now, I don't know if Oberon gonna kill. He should, but mine is an MP2 for that reason. In the same way that I kind of did it for Koyami here. And he did a thing. New lotto comps? Yep. Chat, you look at a rash. You look at a rash. You behold. You bear witness to this damage, chat. Bear witness to Black Grail Oberon Koyami Arash. I just realized Oberon double Koyin can farm from 0 with all the pins unlocked. Yep. Yep. It's always been a thing. Okay? So you see what's happening. No biggie? You're right. Okay, now chat. Once more. Anyone got a Koyami with the maxed out append up? Anyone got a Koyami like me? And can someone put one up? Reset in 1 minute. Yep. Best I can do is Tamamo. Damn. You got me, Hardus. If you want, give her a Black Grail. Okay, never mind. Pachi got me. Pachi with his casual NP5. And 10 appends. Okay, chat? Well, it's just not going to matter here. Where's my Nikitich? Too much? In there, Columbo. No! Free lore, baby. Yep. Is it bad that I can't level Vitch's second and third past 7? I'm out of mirrors. No, you're fine. You're fine. The biggest benefit from the second skill is the overcharge, and potentially if you're with an animal characteristics unit, potentially. You try putting your Black Grail on the support, but I don't think it'll work out for you though. On Koyami, it will. On Koyami, you'll be perfectly fine. The cat, she's not meta in that regard. That's the thing you guys got to understand. Almost no one is going to look to take her too often, unless they're like doing something like this. So like this, where I would like pull in Pachis, would be like, oh hey, you know, this is a scenario where it's like it's a lotto comp type deal. So she's probably got the CE on, right? Instead of something like Black Grail. Get in there, my man. Okay. Now, what am I doing? Well, it actually don't matter. Okay. So, this should give you guys a little bit of an idea about how this should work. Again, it's 30% charge on both. 20% from an append on both. That's 80% right there. Guess what you need to finish it, chat? Everybody's at 80% in this comp. I don't have to use Oberon. I could get away with, like, Helena. Or, like, I don't know. Anyone that can give 20% party charge. Okay? Like that. There you go, chat. 3 skills, 100% charge for everybody. Capiche? Or you can put Be Elegant on Koyami for the memes, that's true. I'm also unsure to time around Caliburn uses. Yeah, I mean, Chernunos is a difficult one. It basically boils down to, like, if you can't solve it in certain ways, I believe Enkidu can solo. I believe, like, at the end of the day, you can always try to resort to, like, command seals and blue prisms and stuff. But it basically just boils down to, like, you needing a high damage single target to kind of really wail on him, especially for the first couple. And remember, the way the curse stacks work, you're going to, like, kind of want to manage those and make sure that you don't, like, kind of get screwed. You'd also use Tiamat if you equip the Atlas Mystic Code. Yeah. Yep. Cat, you can do double Koyami comps. You can do double Oberon comps. You can do double Koyanskaya of Light comps. Like, this is now a thing for Buster. You can literally triple farm with the supports, which is kind of wild. But it usually requires higher NP levels on content that matters. Like, this works because I have Black Grail, right? It would not work otherwise. Okay, so this is my Koyami with basically, you know, quad, whatchamacallit. Overcharge, which I have no idea if these things are Earth. They may be, they may not be. But either way, there should be enough damage here. I feel like this free quest could be done without Black Grail. It probably could. And that's the other way to think about it, chat. You, if you have high enough MP levels, can probably get away, there's 1.8, can probably get away with, again, like something like all bond seas or something. So that's where some of this kind of comes into play. The thing is, just remember, guys, like, a little bit, you're not going to be wanting to, like, bond all of your supports super fast, in the sense that, like, JP is going to give you plus 20% bond on your entire front line eventually. And their entire stance is like, well, oh, you hit bond 15, too bad. There is no bond 20. Roll a new unit. So it's like, you don't want to like be sitting there using a unit at bond 15 the whole time. Try to like be smart about it and spread out how you're bonding units. Make them quote unquote last longer. Does Testifest drop CA have bonus damage? Actually, good question. I don't. It shouldn't have bonus damage, but I don't remember if it has charge or not. Let me see. Battle of New York 2022. Your Lotto C for TeslaFest has 50% starting charge. Critical damage by 15%. Critical damage of arts cards by 20%. So it doesn't have any damage enhancement. It's not all attack stat, but it does have 50% charge. So you got that going for it. Not gonna lie, I want double Koyami Oberon from now on. I mean, you can do it for some time, but you'll probably get bored with it, so be very careful with that. It's just always gonna be a thing. Anyways, chat, I'm gonna call it here. We didn't get to Conan, but again, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna send you guys over Faye's way. I assume Faye is doing FGO tonight. So go give Faye some love if you guys have never followed him. Faye is a fantastic buddy of mine. He is a great artist. Definitely give him a follow on Twitter and Pixiv if you guys haven't. And I will see you guys over on the other side. In the interim, have a happy new year. I will see you guys tomorrow. And again, have a good evening.